Welcome to Box Park Wembley. It's finally here. It's fight week. Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, WBC and lineal heavyweight championships on the line in front of 94,000 people Saturday night at Wembley Stadium. With me, I've got the proudest man in the room, Big John Fury. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Hope you're the same, Dev. Yeah, well said. I'm enjoying every moment of it. You know, it don't get no better than this. The public workouts, good order, build up to the fight, it relaxes the fighters, gets them in the mood, you know. Spectacular event happening here in our home city, London, the capital, biggest ever boxing crowd. You know, I'm so proud and honoured to be part of this. And you're going to see an amazing Tyson Fury, you're going to see an amazing Tommy Fury. We've done a lot of work, you know, they're well prepared, they're battle ready. You know, we just want to get on with it now. But I'm enjoying every second of this. It's going to be brilliant and amazing, I promise you.
What can we expect today? I mean, this is always part of a big fight week calendar. They put on a little show in the ring. Are there going to be any sort of theatrics from Tyson? He's a showman after all.
You never know what's going to happen with Tyson, you know, but it's all good stuff. He's a showman. He's here to entertain the fans, and without the fans, let's make no mistake about it, nothing could be worth doing. The fans are everything. Can I just say, all those fans who support Team Fury, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, you know, and without yous, it wouldn't be possible. So yeah, enjoy the evening. You know, it's not going to happen again, and I'm telling you, it's a great event. When's it ever going to happen again, this, Dev? I don't know, do you?
Well, look.
It's all British affair as well.
It's all British. It's the biggest fight in the UK since Lewis Bruno. A lot of people are saying. But tell me, John, how on earth did we get here? We look at the despair after the Klitschko fight, what Tyson went through, and now suddenly, fast forward, that was 2015, fast forward to now, April 2022, he's sold out Wembley Stadium, 94,000 people, he's king of the world. How on earth has that happened?
I'll tell you how we've got here. Through helping people outside the ring with mental health problems. Everybody on earth with a problem, Tyson Fury stands for you. If you've got a problem, no matter what it is, Tyson is there for you, and he's doing this for you. He's the people's champion, the downtrodden, the oppressed. Whoever you may be out there, what's suffering in life, Tyson's doing this for you. And he makes it quite clear, this is all for you guys, you know, and enjoy every minute of it, you know. And at the end of the day, we're doing great stuff in the ring, as well as outside of it, even better outside of it, thank God. And we're here because of those lovely people and all the fans what support Team Fury. Can't thank them enough.
Do you have to pinch yourself, John?
Yes, I do. I think I'm going to wake up any minute and it's been a long dream, you know, but at the end of the day, who says dreams don't come true? It's coming true, and it's only going to get better and better. Enjoy this superhuman being while he's here, you know. He's a beautiful young man, he's an entertainer, he ticks every box for everybody, you know, and at the end of the day, he's doing it for Britain, he's doing it for you guys. So, God bless to everyone who's bought a ticket, to everyone who tunes in around the world. Thumbs up.
And you have been deep in camp with Tyson. You've been living with him, I understand. What's it been like the last 8 weeks or so?
Yes, I've been living with him, we've been eating, drinking, sleeping, training together. I've never left him for 8 weeks, you know, and it's been a close camp, tight-knit show. You know, the only people that's been in camp is what's been needed, you know, and we've done a great job of it. We've been injury-free, it's been an happy camp, a jolly camp, and he even said himself, it's probably the best camp he's had. Not just because I've been there, you know, it's just been more relaxing. He's had no problems outside the ring like he has before. So, yeah, for once we've had plain sailing, and I think you're going to see the best Tyson Fury possible. And Tommy, they've both been working well in the gym, they've done everything asked of them. The two are going to perform out there, skin you watch.
Let's get a word on Tommy. I mean, he's just gone through a lot of adversity in his career, not necessarily inside the ring. He's had to pull out of that Jake Paul fight, and a lot of people have said a lot of things to him. He was telling me about how he went to the shop and people were calling him names. I mean, you shouldn't have to go through this, but this is new stuff for Tommy Fury to go through. What's it been like being around him? Have you had to put your arm around his shoulder and sort of guide him through this difficult time?
Definitely not, Dev. You know, my sons have got thick skin. I teach them, I train the mind as well as the body with Tommy, you know what I'm saying? He's only young, but I said, listen, in this world you can expect anything. And let me tell you, I said, son, even bad press is good press. You know, when people stop talking about you, whether it be good or bad, that's when you've got a problem. But all the time people keep talking about you, whether it's negative or not, absorb it, take it on, it makes you stronger. You know, and at the end of the day, it's built him into the character he is, you know, so yeah, no problems really, we're used to all of that, Dev.
And obviously he's around Tyson as well. He's part of that tight-knit group. They talk about iron, sharpening iron. Is that what's happened here with Tommy? Has he gone up a few notches because of this? I mean, he hasn't been in the ring since August last year. How much different is he now to what he was back then?
Well, I think he's the setback he had in December has made him a bit stronger, really, because he's knuckled down. He's been there with Tyson, doing what Tyson's been doing, you know. And at the end of the day, like you say, iron sharpens iron. And Tommy just wants to be like Tyson. And when you've got somebody to look up to like Tyson, you'll take some stopping, believe me. But Tommy can punch like an heavyweight. He moves. He's a lot better than people give him credit for. This kid will do big things, believe me. He's just overshadowed by Tyson, and why not? Tyson's the best thing in the world. Nothing could be possible unless it was for Tyson. Tommy wouldn't be where it was at. I wouldn't be stood here talking to you. It's all down to the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Thank you, son. But yep, it's all good for Tommy. He's strong, he's done his work, and he can punch with both hands. And when you've got them kind of weapons in your arsenal, you can't go wrong. Just match him right, look after him. It's a step up to Saturday night, but we're expecting a good show from Tommy.
Well, back to Tyson. Obviously, this is the first time you've been in camp since 2018. It would have been the Pianetta fight. Now that you're around it, because I know you voiced your displeasure at some of the things that have happened when he's been over in America. How will it have been different for him this time here, under your watch?
Well, you know, let me say first and foremost, Sugar Hill has been magnificent. He's a boxing teacher, a boxing expert. You know, and at the end of the day, just having him in the camp, you know, it helped me. Ticks a lot of boxes, you know, and he's astute. He's a masterclass at the game, you know. And I've just been round just watching and observing, and I've learned a lot myself from Sugar Hill. But all it is with me is a discipline thing. Because being the father, if I wasn't there doing my job and keeping things as they should be, it wouldn't be much, would it? I wouldn't be much of a dad. But listen, all credit to Sugar Hill. We've all mucked in here. Every man in Team Fury's mucked in to bring this event to where we're going to get it to. But it's all about the win at the end of the day, Dev. We don't do losing. Tyson don't do losing. He's come too far in his life. So at the end of the day, work hard, fight easy. That's simple. That's just how it is.
And do you have to do any kind of cracking of the whip? Like maybe back in the day there would have been some of that. Tyson was a young man coming through, and maybe he'd look to you to tell him, you know, don't do this, don't do this. Now that he's king of the world, now that he's 33, 34 years old, what's your role been like in camp around this version of Tyson Fury, this man who's king of the world?
When I've been watching him spar and training, I just see little things in my head. If I see something I'm not comfortable with, I'll have a word with Sugar on the quiet, not in front of Tyson. I'll just say, look, Sugar, I'm not happy with that. You know, I said that needs a bit of tweaking, and I've not taken anything away from Sugar, but two heads are better than one in this game. You know, nothing's dad. I probably see things Sugar hasn't seen, but I haven't seen much Sugar's missed, to be honest with you. But listen, I've been there watching everything. Every time he finishes a round of sparring, looks at me, I give him a nod of approval, thumbs him up, and that's all he wants, you know. But listen, if it's wrong, I'm going to tell him, and that's my main job. If I don't like it, I'm going to mention it. But this camp hasn't been the case. Everything's been good in it. Problematic free, plain sailing. You know, it's been a happy, jolly place. They've all done really well. But credit to Sugar Hill, George Lockhart, the food man, the conditioning man, Christian. But, you know, they've all done the thing here. Matt, the masseur man. Everybody's mucked in together and done everything expertly, what they've been asked of, and I can't ask for no more.
And what about a word on Dillian Whyte? He's now broken his silence. He's now talking about the fight. He's participating in media calls. I'm not sure he'll be here today. We'll find out, but he's going to be around in fight week. What do you make of him participating?
To be honest with you, Dev, what they do is their own business. But you know, when you sign a contract to this magnitude, you've got to honour it. And all this is part of that contract. Somewhere in it, it'll stipulate that you've got to do what you've got to do to help with the fight. But this is the Tyson Fury Roadshow. We don't need Dillian. We just need him to turn up and get in there on the night. As long as he does that, we're not really worried. You know, and he's going to do that, I'm sure. You'll see the best Dillian Whyte, hopefully. You know, you're going to see the best Tyson. We're not bothered who gets in that ring as long as they get in with him on Saturday night. You know, so what they do is irrelevant to what we do. So we're not bothered about that. It's made no impact at all on us whatsoever. We're used to anything. You can throw what you want at a Fury, especially Tyson Fury. It'll bounce off like a rubber ball on a wall. We're not interested. Just turn up and fight, and that's all we ask.
Well, I believe we're gonna speak to a former Tyson Fury opponent, a man who was supposed to be fighting Dillian Whyte as well, Otto Wallin.
Good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Good. Otto, yes, I'm very well. Jump in the middle here. To this fight, you've obviously shared the ring with Tyson. You were supposed to share the ring with Dillian. Where's your head at?
It's going to be a good fight. It's nice to be out here. You know, I love the British crowds and seems to be a good turnout for this fight. But no, I think that Fury is the favorite for sure. He's a bigger guy and smart fighter, and he's been, he's earned my respect for sure. Dillian is a little bit smaller. He's not fast on his hands or feet, so I think you need that to beat Fury. What Whyte can do is try to corner him and just unload and hopefully hit him with the left hook and maybe open that cut that I first opened up on him. But I think it would be difficult for him. Fury's a very smart fighter.
How do you expect the fight to play out when that first bell rings? Do you think what sort of Tyson Fury do you think we'll see? Is it going to be the bulldozer that we've seen in the last couple of fights against Deontay Wilder? Or is he going to try and box and move like we've seen in the past?
Yeah, I think it would be interesting. Maybe John knows more than me, but Wilder and Whyte are very different. Wilder, I always felt with Wilder that somebody was going to come out and just run him over. And that's what Fury figured out that he could do. So he did that in the second and the third fight. I think Whyte is different though. I think he's better on the inside. He's still a strong guy like Wilder, but he's better on the inside. And he's different, so it's going to be interesting. I think it's up to Fury what's going to happen in the fight, but if I would bet on it, I would think that Fury's going to come out boxing, and then, maybe later on start bullying him more.
And John, a word on Otto Wallin here. I mean, every fighter has to overcome some adversity in their career. Tyson faced some in his fight with this man here with that horrendous cut. What do you think of this guy here? It feels like he's got a bright future.
Dillian was going to fight you, I think. If I hadn't had me too anything, I think you'd have been boxing Dillian Whyte. But I think he got the gist. If this man's a difficult man for anybody to fight, Southpaw. If you say to me and I box, you should have been shot with all of your Southpaws. This man's a great fighter. I still think he can do good. Nobody wants to fight this man. And at the end you can see why. Let me tell you, Tyson, intelligence, skill is on another level. So what we're going to get here Saturday night.
Well, give us your final prediction then, Otto. What's going to happen on Saturday night?
I think that Fury's going to win. Can he stop him? Yeah, I probably can, but I would say a decision.
Okay, Tyson Fury on points. I think we're going to thanks Otto. I think we're going to bring in Frank Warren. Lovely to speak to you. And the Hall of Fame boxing promoter himself,
Great guy,
Mr. Frank Warren. He's going to jump in. It's all masked up. Frank, if you want to come in the middle, sir. Quick interview, quick side chat here between two key people in Tyson's life. Frank, it's fight week, it's finally here. How are you feeling? We're here at Box Park, it's public workout
Well, I'm
time.
delighted. I've got a bit of a cold, so I'm keeping this on and I don't want to pass it around. All good, it's marvellous. Look at it, it looks good. It's got a buzz about it, and we're ready to go.
What are you expecting today from Tyson? You've seen so many Tyson Fury public workouts over the years. They're always quite fun.
We've done all his work, all the hard work's done, and what he'll do now, he'll get in the ring, just loosen up, move around, and he'll have some fun with the crowd, as he always does.
And John, obviously, Frank is also the promoter of Tommy as well. I know you've always talked about what a great job that the guys are doing with Tommy as well. Just a word on that.
Just first and foremost, this man here, he's a Hall of Fame promoter. He's done a fabulous job with Tyson. He's doing a fabulous job with Tommy. To my mind, he's the best promoter in the world. Without this guy, nothing would be possible. So, Frank, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you very much. God bless you. That's all I can say about this man. He's shrewd and he's bloody good at his job.
There you go, there's no higher praise, Frank. 94,000 people will be in there on Saturday night. Have you seen anything like it?
No, I've never seen 90. Well, I'll tell a lie. I went to Donkey many years ago, Chavez in the States. There was 120,000 people there. But a lot of them were non-payers. This is a paying audience. This is a European record, so it's brilliant. And I'm delighted it's Tyson, because he deserves it. He's worked very hard. He's never defended his world title in the UK, and what a bad fans come out for him. Shows the love they got.
Dillian Whyte has broken his silence, Frank. How did you do it?
Oh, well, it's been hard work, like pulling teeth. But it's like all these things. You've got to persevere, and eventually it's worked out. I could have done with it earlier, but thankfully I managed to sell all the tickets. without him doing anything publicly. Now he's involved in it, so that's going to make it better and a bigger.
What are you expecting from the press conference? I believe that's going to be the first time that they go head-to-head tomorrow. What do you think is going to happen?
It's going to be the usual sort of thing. I'm sure Dillian's going to try and throw some insults, as normally will happen. Tyson will just bat it off, and it'll be what it's going to be. The most important thing is what happens when they step into the ring, because that's what counts. That's the end of the day, what really counts. They can look each other in the eye, and when they're looking in each other's eyes, they're going to be looking into each other's souls. And Tyson is a very, very confident person. Dillian is as well, by the way, very brave. But Tyson is a very, very confident fighter, probably one of the most confident fighters I've ever met.
And on the Dillian side, have you spoken to him at all? Is this all being done via Teams, or?
I had a very brief conversation with him.
I think your mic stopped working.
I had a very brief conversation with him about a week ago.
How did that go?
Well, okay, we're all back online and we're all ready to go. And I'm not the undercard with his lawyer, Jeffrey Bentz. I told him I'm not an undercard fighter. It's main event or nothing, so we sorted that out as well.
Brilliant stuff. John, Dillian Whyte's now joined into the promotion. I guess it's great to have him on board as we ramp up towards Saturday night.
Say that again, David.
So Dillian Whyte's joined in with the promotion now. I guess it's great to have him on board as we ramp up towards Saturday night.
Absolutely, they're under obligation to do what they've got to do, and at the end of the day, this is what we do. A fight of this magnitude, you've got to put your two penneth in, and Dillian Whyte's a needed, respected man, and as long as he turns up Saturday night and fights, that's all we're interested in, really. We can't do any more. But what they do is up to them. If they feel it's right, let them get on with it. Love the reasons. We do what we do, and I hope we do it well. And with this man behind us, we can't go wrong. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we're in a good place. Team Fury's in a place probably we haven't been in as good a place for a few years, to be honest with you. It's been a good camp, for him. It's been a good camp. Yeah, he's upbeat.
He's really, he seems very at ease. Very relaxed. He obviously knows the task he's got in front of him. He seems very comfortable. He said to me it's the best he's ever felt. Looking at the performances he's had, it's now the best he's ever felt when they get something special in the sense.
Is the biggest danger complacency for Tyson?
Yeah, but he's not a complacent person. He's not stupid. One thing about Tyson, he's probably one of the most intelligent boxers. I don't mean as a boxer, I mean as a person. He's a very intelligent man. He won't take anything. Every fight he has, he knows what's on the line, what it means. And Johnson is prepared so well, it's the best camp he's ever had. And that tells you he's not taking anything for granted.
How does this compare to the last camp? The last camp, it felt like it was horrendous. I remember, John, you went for a run with Tyson, and you talked about how he could barely run. He was breathing, fire in his lungs, kind of thing.
Dave, them other camps are shock horror for me because I knew he never had time. He was under duress stress. He'd had problems, terrible problems, been in a terrible place. He spent 2 weeks on hospital floor. You know what I'm saying? And he goes and does that 3 weeks later. But this time, Frank, it's not been like that. We've had a good camp. We've been injury free. Everything's gone right. He's had world class food. He's had world class training. Credit to Sugar Hill. He's a boxing masterclass teacher. We've not left a stone unturned here. We've not overlooked Dillian Whyte. We've trained as hard for him as anybody else. And Tyson's a different animal. Intelligence, strength, speed. I don't know myself what he's going to do, Frank, after the first round. What we trained for, he might do somewhat different. We'll know when we get in front of Dillian Whyte. But Tyson knows what he's got to do. He's got a gearbox of 25 gears in it, so at the end of the day, you'll use them all if need be to get the win. But it's going to be a spectacular night. There's only one winner, Tyson Fury.
What do you think he's going to do, Frank? John says he doesn't know what he's going to do when that first bell rings. He's unpredictable, right? What do you think?
Well, he is unpredictable, but I think he'll control the pace of the fight. And he common sense tells you he's going to get behind his jab, use his jab, and that will control the fight. He's the bigger man. He's got the longer reach. Dillian's got to get under that jab and come in and work. But you've seen different facets of Tyson over the last few years. Most people think he's a hit and move guy. He can do that, but he can stand with you. Go and ask Wilder. He can stand and trade with you. And he's got good whiskers. We know the other guy's a good puncher. But I think whatever happens, I believe he's got the capabilities to deal with whatever Dillian brings to the party.
I guess the question heading into this, obviously we've seen this new version of Tyson Fury, this bulldozer, this man who runs over his opponents. Is that because it was against Deontay Wilder and that's how we had to fight him? Or is it because he's a bit older than he used to be? Is he not as quick on his feet anymore? Is it he's had to do it?
Look, that's what you say. His legs haven't gone, by no means. You've got to see him. And remember, for me, there's not a lot of miles on the clock anyway. He's had one fight in 2 years because of COVID. So it's not like he's a burnt-out fighter, not being active in those 2 years. You know, you're coming out, you've got to get the ring rust off. And that first round with Wilder was what it was. But he's smart. And most fighters, as they get older, of course your body slows down a bit, but that kicks in. All your experience that you've got, all what you've learned since you was a young man boxing, all those things are there. Learning the game. He's got tremendous reflexes, great head movement, hand speed, footwork. For me, he is the complete package. I become a big believer, a massive believer. He turned me into a big believer in the last fight that he had against Chisora. Chisora was coming off of a real run of good wins, about 5 or 6 fighters who are all ranked, and he absolutely destroyed him. He never won a second of the round. And that day, I looked at him and I remember saying to him when he got out of the ring, "You'll beat Klitschko." I really fancied him to beat him like that. That's when I become a true believer.
How much can we read into Tyson's fights with Derek Chisora? Both Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury have done 2 fights with Derek Chisora. Both have gone the distance and also stopped him. How much can we read into those fights, John?
There's levels to this game, Dev. And at the end of the day, they probably stayed where they are. Tyson's moved on to another level. You know, they're good fighters, and the difference between a good fighter and an excellent fighter, you know. But let me tell you, like they say, a 100-to-1 shot can win the Grand National. He only has a puncher's chance. You know, the kid's got ability, but, you know, left hook and a right hand ain't going to beat the Gypsy King. I'm afraid to say that. You know, he's a good, strong kid. But in there, what I've been seeing in the gym were good sparring partners, were class sparring partners. If he brings half of that in here, anybody in the world's going to have a problem with Tyson Fury. He's the best of his era. The best right now. There's nobody out there can touch him, unless they get lucky. You know, but it's up to them Saturday night. You never know what's going to happen. So that's why people tune in. But I'm just looking at what I'm looking at. His footwork, speed, hand-eye coordination. He can see shots coming. You know, and at the end of the day, when he got caught last time with Wilder in that 3rd fight, it was only because he hadn't had a good camp. We've been training now to spot things before they happen. Prevention's better than cure, and that's what we've done here. The eye in this fight is more important than the hand. See it, get there first. And he's got great feet, he'll move out. If he needs to put the bulldozing tactics in, he'll do them as well. You know, his weight's right, he can do anything in this fight, Tyson, he wants to. You know, and if he feels he needs to, he will. But I think what we've done, the plan we've got in place, I think that'll be enough.
John said that Tyson's the best of his era. I'm sure you agree, Frank.
Well, he's beaten. You've got to look at his record. He went to Germany and beat Klitschko, who was the best of his era by far. He went to America. He beat statistically the hardest punching heavyweight on statistics, certainly the hardest puncher in the last 30-odd years in boxing, who was undefeated for 6 years. 3 different types of fight and won them all. Got robbed in the first fight and won all those fights. He's the best of his generation, in my opinion, best of his generation. He's up there with all the greats, with the Allies, with the Foremans, with the... You can only be the best of your generation, and he's there. And I genuinely believe if he'd have been around in that era, he would have been there with all those guys. I genuinely believe that.
Who's got more miles on the clock, Dillian Whyte or Tyson Fury?
Dillian Whyte.
Tell me the thinking behind that.
Well, you look at the fights he's had, and he's been in very tough fights, hard fights, and that's his style. That's his style. Tyson, I don't believe Tyson will be dragged down to his style. I think the fight will be fought on Tyson's terms, but that's his style, that's how he fights. And as a result of the way he fights, he takes shots, he gets caught. It is what it is. I mean, he's in fights that go backwards and forwards. Look at the Chisora fights. There's nothing in them. That last one, he was behind and he clipped Chisora. He's a dangerous soul. He can whack.
Would you go with that, John, in terms of miles on the clock? Frank's obviously going with Dillian.
Because owing to Tyson's early career, he's more of an elusive fighter. He's only had the last, 5 fights, so he's got a bit of sticking, really, you know what I'm saying? So he's still very fresh, Tyson. In this game, when a man's training, when he's sparring, Frank, you can tell whether they've got miles on the clock or not. He's as fresh now at 33 as he was when he was 27. You know, all Tyson needed was a straight road. Wind him up and he'll go. I'm seeing a fresh Tyson. I reckon Tyson can still box while he's 40-year-old. It's just getting his mind right, giving him a straight road to run on, and he'll do it. You know, he's had no hard stick. He's been put down a couple of times. You know, you get up, but he's had no grueling fights. Well, only the last few, you know what I'm saying? Wilder 2 wasn't a grueler, he had it all his own way. Yeah, he got knocked down in Wilder 1, but he didn't really get touched apart from that. And in the last fight, yeah, he walked on rookie error, but like I say, he hadn't been prepared properly. But Tyson is still very fresh. If he wasn't, I'd probably advise him not to box no more, because that's the way I am. But let me tell you, my boy has got plenty of life left in him yet, and more good nights to come, you see.
Well, it looks like we're about to start the official workout here. Frank, it's been a pleasure having you talk with us. Any final word, anything you want to tell the fans?
Tune in, BT Box Office. You're going to see fireworks, you're going to see a great fight between 2 outstanding heavyweights, both British, and you're going to see in action the best heavyweight of his generation, Tyson Fury. Putting it all on the line against Dillian Whyte, don't miss it.
Brilliant, thank you very much, Frank. I think they're going to look after you over there. And Tommy Schreiber is going through the intros here. Ah. Okay. I don't think so. So I think they'll work their way through the card. John Fury obviously is going to be taking pads for Tommy in the ring, but I think we're going to start off with young Royston Barney Smith. He made his debut just around a month ago. He won that fight, as Thomas Schreiber just said, and suddenly a month later he's fighting at Wembley Stadium. Goodness me.
Well, listen, the kid's a world-class amateur. He's got bags of talent. You've seen that from his last fight. You know, he's a shining star in the making, is Royston Barney Smith. You know, and his amateur background, second to none. You know, I can't see him going very wrong. World title's on the horizon for him.
Yeah, and he's a good lad as well. He's he's just.
Hey, he's full of confidence as well, isn't he?
Yeah. No,
full of confidence.
There was a lovely little promo that went out where he was talking about how, you know, Frank brought through Ricky Hatton, he brought through Nassim Hamed, he brought through Amir Khan. All of those guys turned pro at 18 years old, and he's the next in line.
Southpaw again. You know, what can you say? Nobody wants to box him, does he?
Who wants to fight a southpaw?
Especially a good one.
No, exactly.
You see, what's not to like about this young man, Dave? He's got speed, accuracy. You know, the power will come when he gets his man's strength. You know, he's got a lot of tools in his box, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, absolutely. He looks good on the pads. Looks good. And that gym that he's in, obviously he's training with Ben Davison. In that gym, he's got Josh Taylor. He's got Lee Wood. I mean, this is a fantastic company to be keeping for such a young boxer, John.
That's right, you know, and like we said earlier, iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. You know, when they've got people to look up to like that, they can't go wrong in this game, you know, because they're looking at what they do and they want to overtake what they do, you know, and that's, if you haven't got that mentality, you shouldn't be a boxer. But these guys here are on another level. It's their life. They've chosen this sport as their career, you know, and it makes a big difference.
No, this will be his first public workout, Royston Barney Smith. I'll tell you what, he doesn't look phased, does he?
Well, he doesn't, you know, but they're going to have nerves because he's only a boy in a man's world, ain't he? You know, so at the end of the day, all this kid wants is time and being match right. And if they get that right, and I'm sure Frank will, because that's what he's good at, I don't see a problem. There's no rush from 18 years old. You know, he can only do big things, this kid. You know, and at the end of the day, you don't see too many southpaws, do you? With lightning reflexes like that.
Yeah. No, he looked good on his debut. Barely put a foot wrong. He was live on BT Sport. Yeah. And just a few weeks later, he's going to be at Wembley. It's clearly Frank's taken to him.
He might even be somewhere near the British Lomachenko. You don't know, do you?
Oh, there you go.
You know, don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing him with Lomachenko yet, but I tell you what, I see flashes of him in him. He's got that same kind of fast function, hasn't he? And good footwork. You know, like I say, they're experienced people what's got hold of him anyway, so just got to do the right things with him, haven't they?
And one of these rounds that he's shared with Josh Taylor, he's actually been sparring him, not just training alongside him. Now, how do you feel about that? Obviously, he's an 18-year-old kid. He's a lot lower in weight. He's a super featherweight. Josh Taylor's, when they're sparring, Josh Taylor will be a lot heavier than him. Is it good for him to be, you know, going at it with Josh Taylor in the gym, or how do you feel about that?
Absolutely, but in super featherweight there's a lot of good champions, you know, and you've got to be good to even get anywhere near them. You know, but you know, as long as he doesn't get giddy and run before he can walk, he'll be okay. Because all these young kids, what they do, Dev, all these young kids, it's all the hype around them, people patting them on the back. If he don't let that get to him and take his mind off what he's learning, he'll be okay. But what they do to get lost in transition, these kids, and they think they're better than what they are, they get overmatched and bang, it's over. But Frank, experienced campaigner, knows his job, I'll look after him, and he'll get this kid to a world title, and I don't see why he shouldn't win it. There's a lot worse than Royston Barney Smith picked up belts, hasn't they? You know, and like I say, brilliant amateur background, can't go wrong.
How important is it to therefore look after him, to have the sort of promoter that is going to give him a few journeymen? That's what's going to be happening.
Why not? They all got to start somewhere. At this time in his life, it's all about building his confidence more than his ability. Because without confidence, you get the best ability in the world. Without being confident to go out there and do your thing, it's all got to fit like a jigsaw puzzle. That's
well,
what
let's grab Royston. We're going to grab a quick chat with young Royston Barney Smith. You was only boxing at Wembley Arena about 5 weeks ago. Now you're at the stadium. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. It's a dream come true to be here and be a part of this big occasion with Johnson Tyson. Honestly, I'm lost for words.
Well, this was your first public workout, right? I mean, any nerves? Like, how did it feel out there?
It was a bit nervous with all the cameras, but pressure makes diamonds, as they say. And I'm here to soak it all up and show everyone what I can do.
It's like I've just said to you there about the learning curve, the nerves, it's about your head. You know, he's got all the ability in the world, but he's been so young. And amateur boxing and professional boxing is like pool and snooker, they're different. All he needs to do is build his confidence at the minute. Match him right, get his head right, get him used to big crowds, under the lights as much as you possibly can, and he will pick up world titles. He's too good. You know, he's got good footwork, his hand speed, he's 18 years old, and he's a southpaw. The only thing is, who's going to want to box him?
Thanks very much.
God bless you, son.
Royston, Saturday night is when we'll see you next. Congratulations, your first public workout's all done, and we'll see you soon.
Good to see you, son. Good luck Saturday night.
Good lad, Royston Barney Smith. Looks the part, doesn't he? I mean, he's not a bad looking little man.
Oh, listen, you know, breath of fresh air to the job, and he did.
Yeah, 100%.
Great.
I think we're going to crack on with the public workout here. Thomas Schreiber has taken to the ring, which normally means he's warming up the lungs, and something big's coming. We'll see who else we can grab for a chat here today. Crowd's filling up here nicely, John.
Yeah, you know, there's a good crowd building in here. Yeah. You know, like I say, they're great place, aren't they? It gets the fighters going, gets them in that mood, don't it? They're seeing people, you know, all the cameras, the lights, you know, it's all good stuff, Deb. You can't beat it. And it's good experience for them young fighters. Very good.
Absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to bring another fighter into the ring. He is competing on Saturday night in a 6-round light heavyweight contest. He is from Chatham. Undefeated with 6 wins. 4 of his 6 wins come by way of knockout. Let's welcome Karol Itauma.
Karol Itauma taken to the ring is a Olympic youth gold medalist, soaking it all in. I mean, this is, until Tyson gets here, this is the coolest man in the room. Do you know that? What have you seen of Karol Itauma so far? Have you seen much of him, John?
Not really, no. But like I say, again, looks very good for a youngster. He's 6'1". He's got good, strong legs. And like I say, he seems to know what he's doing, doesn't he?
100%. Well, whenever I've spoken to him, what I've always been impressed by is the maturity. He's just 21 years old, but he speaks like someone who is 31, maybe even 41 years old. That mindset, it's quite something to behold. I'm sure we'll see some of that when we grab him for a chat, John.
That's the main thing, Dev, with these young lads, building the confidence and the mindset. You can work on ability, but a lot of people don't work on that. Mindset and confidence, and that's the main thing. Confidence is 80% of the game, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like I say, these young men, if they're matched right, they could be, you could be looking at a future world champion in there, But it's all about the team they've got, If they get it right, young kids like that want to give it their all, you can't go wrong with them, And I wish them all the luck in the world. It's a young man's game, this, and we're better than start at a young age like these men here. He's well made, he looks very strong, and like I say, look at the hand speed there, He's got a lot you can work with, Dev.
Well, he's obviously an Olympic youth gold medalist. They don't just give those away, John.
Yeah, well, listen, you've got to earn things like that, Dev, you know that. But it'll stand him in good stead, the amateur background. Like I say, amateur boxing is like pool and snooker, they're different, but believe me, it puts you in good stead to be a good pro. And Colin Jones said to me back in Serbia, in some kind of championship Tyson was in, he said, it's not what Tyson's doing in the pro show. I think you got a bad decision over there, Tyson. He said, he'll make a very good pro. The Welshman Colin Jones said that. 2-time world title challenger. And you weren't wrong, Colin, believe me.
Oh, yeah.
He knew his stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Itauma is in the ring right now with his trainer, Whyte.
Plus, they've got so much, haven't they? What you can get from amateur boxing these days. They spend thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds on each fighter, so, they've got everything. They've got a good foundation, haven't they, when they come out the amateur style where he's come from, the England squad and all that, It stood Tyson in good stead. And like I say, why wouldn't it with this young man?
Well, I think we're going to grab a quick word with Karol as he comes out of the ring. A couple of photos. It's manager Francis Warren, we can see. Karol, come, join us. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good to see you, young man. Like a bit of skill in there, 21 years old. He's a lump him, isn't he?
He's a lump. Karol, tell me, look, Olympic youth gold medalist, right? What's more nerve-wracking, do you think? Preparing for that fight, which was at that point the biggest fight of your career, or preparing for Saturday night, 94,000 people?
Do you know what? I think it's all about different occasions, and obviously different parts of your life require different you. Since 2018, I've come on a lot more experience, 4 years. You learn a lot about yourself, about the sport. So I'm just grateful to be there, grateful to have this opportunity to compete.
John, what did I tell you about his mindset and the way he talks? This is not 21 years old,
I was
surely.
looking over there, I think he was a veteran talking, but listen, the mindset is the main thing in this job. If you get your confidence up and your mindset, and just to occasions like this, and I do believe you've got that, just for talking to you now for these couple of minutes, I can see he's got everything to go all the way, this young lad, and I'm looking forward to seeing you Saturday night.
I really appreciate that.
I know it's a very good journey for you, but big at the weight again, isn't he? He's a fine fella, strong limbs, and fast hands. So like I say, keep your mind on the job, train hard, discipline, you'll go all the way. That's all it takes. Determination and listening to proper wise people. Wise words and determination will take you to the top. Believe me, you've got everything else. 21 years old, magnificent.
Magnificent. Look, Karol. Now, obviously, I'm going to ask you who's going to win the main event on Saturday night. Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte. He's just lavished you with praise. So obviously, Tyson Fury.
I'm
right?
a little bit biased.
Listen, like the skill level, the experience he's been on, I can't see Tyson losing. So I wish him all the best. You know, put on a great performance for everyone to come watch. But yeah, I don't see Tyson losing.
When you look at a stage like this, can you see yourself being a headline act one day?
For sure. Like, I think like that's every boxer's dream. You know, you don't come to this sport to just have some more shows. You come to this sport to be the best you can be and get to the world stage and get to the top. And I think that is the goal and that is the plan. We're gonna get there.
Do you feel under pressure to make sure you put on a devastating performance in front of all those people?
Of course, like it'd be great to have a performance like a devastating fashion, like a knockout and that. However, I'm gonna let it flow. Let it flow. Don't look for anything, and when it comes, it'll come.
What you've got to do is relax in there. Don't read into it too much. Rely on your skills and have confidence in your own ability, and that's enough at this stage of the game. Don't step too far. Don't look too far in the future. Concentrate where you're at in your career. You're at the beginning. Enjoy it because it's the best part of this. It's a learning curve for you. And as long as you keep your mind on the job and believe in yourself and your skills, that won't be a problem in there.
Absolutely.
That's all you need to do.
Thank you.
No problem.
Pleasure, Karol. We'll see you in the week.
Absolutely. Thank you, then.
We're carrying on here. Who's up next? Wow.
I'm very well. How are you?
Big D, David Adeleye. It sounds like we have a change of nickname. For so long, this man has been known as Big D. I just heard him introduced as the Chosen One, John. Did you know about this?
This man is probably one of the nicest guys in boxing. He's been in camp with us. You know, I see David doing big things, honestly. He's took his lumps and bumps in there like no other man could ever take them. And he's always there, willing. He's never late for sparring. He's always up for it. And you always see the best David. What a trier. And he's looking to learn all the time. He's come on in leaps and bounds, this kid.
How's it all going? Yeah?
Your way, we are.
So, Tyson's been bringing David Adeleye into so many camps now. What has he seen in David where he's thinking, do you know what, I need this guy around, I need that work?
He's quick for heavyweight, and he brings different stuff, and he can bring punches from all different kind of angles. And he's got young legs, you know, and everything about him is good, you know. And the kid, for where he's at in his career, believe me, Frank Greaves looking after him, excellent, you know. They're a good duo, them, and they're willing to learn off other coaches. He asked a lot of questions, even with me, with Billy Nelson, another great trainer. You know, they're all inquisitive people. And let me tell you, at this point in his career, David is well ahead of himself. And he can punch like you wouldn't believe. You know, and what I've been seeing of him in the gym is his willing determination to be better each time he spars. And that says a lot for me, that. He's took his lumps and bumps, he don't feel sorry for himself, and he wants to improve. And believe me, towards the end of the camp, believe me, he was improving like you wouldn't believe. Again, can't fault the kid.
Is it his determination and his bottle, for lack of a better term, that is going to be so almost like Dillian Whyte-like kind of in there, which is kind of one of the key attributes?
Yeah, he's quicker than Dillian. He's quicker, he's got quicker feet, he's quicker handed. You know, and like I say, you know, at the end of the day, he's only a young heavyweight. He's a baby in the game, this lad. You know, he's not even got his man strength yet. You know, in 3 years' time, he's going to be one to watch.
I think he hasn't got his man strength. I mean, he looks strong as a bull to me. I dread to think what he's going to look like when he's got his man strength.
He's only a kid, you know, at the end of the day. I like him when he gets tagged with an hard shot, he wants to fire back straight away. You can see that fire in wanting to go, you know.
Oh, we have the WBC president, Maurizio Sulaiman, joining us. Maurizio, welcome. How are you feeling heading into this fight week?
I feel very, very happy, very excited. I just arrived, and to see the crowd and the emotions and the excitement that there is surrounding this unbelievable fight, to see the proud father here, it's very, very special.
I understand that you've agreed to make John Fury a big WBC ring.
I have just promised him the ring that his son received, and we're just waiting to see what size. We're going to need a lot of gold for that ring.
Sir, all I can do is thank you very much. For the WBC, and especially this man, has always supported Tyson through his bad times. They've always been there for him, and sir, I can't thank you enough for that. You know, and that's from the heart. It's heartfelt, that, my friend. Great people, you know, and for my money, the WBC is the one to have.
Thank you so
That's
much.
the belt you need.
Thank you for your words, and your son, what he has done to overcome adversity, what he has done to represent the WBC and to represent boxing, and to help others, is something that makes us very proud.
But like I say, you know, at the end of the day, that's why I know Tyson. All these people here, when he steps in that ring, Tyson, he knows what he's got to do. And you know what he said leaving the house? This belt's coming back with me. I like it too much.
Speaking of belts, Maurizio, there's been another belt going around doing a tour of London as well. Tell us a little bit about that. Oh, here we go. I think we're about to bring it into shot, along with Colin Hart.
We're gonna do the premiere presentation with you.
There you go, live on the Queensbury stream. I mean, when this belt comes, oh wow, the gleam. Struggling with the bag a bit, but here we go. Maurizio Sulaiman brings in a very special WBC belt, which he's going to talk us through.
This is the Union belt. This is the one that has the flag. It has all the details to represent and to commemorate this great country in the greatest fight, the most important fight in the history of the country. So the winner of this fight is going to get this Union belt as a special trophy on St. George's Day.
It's a wonderful addition. John, your thoughts on this belt? Well, I think Tyson Fury's in the house.
Well, this has got to come home with us, hasn't it? When Tyson says this, he's going to want to keep this one as well. Tyson's the belt collector. Beautiful belt, by the way.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
It's a wonderful belt. From your perspective, Maurizio, you must be glad that this particular fight is finally happening. Dillian Whyte gets his shot at your world title.
Yes, it's a fight for the WBC Heavyweight Title. It's the same belt that Muhammad Ali, the same belt that Fraser, Foreman, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Vitaly Klitschko, and now Tyson Fury. So it's legacy, it's history, and we're just very proud that it's happening this Saturday.
94,000 people. Have you seen anything like it before in your career so far, Maurizio?
Well, I was in Mexico City for the Chavez-Hogan fight, and I just cannot wait to see what it's going to be, because British fans are the best in the world. The atmosphere that they create, if it's 1,000, 5,000 or 94,000, I cannot imagine what it's going to be like.
It should be absolutely tremendous. Maurizio, any final words to the fans? Isn't there something else going around where they can get a photo with?
There's a giant belt. The giant belt is going to be also available for fans. There's a Fury Fest on Saturday, and there's going to be great opportunities for pictures with the giant belt and with the Union belt.
Fantastic. Maurizio, thank you for joining us. I think we're going to grab a word with David Adeleye. If you want to say bye to John, and Jake will look after you.
Sir,
thank you
very much.
Thank you,
for
Papa.
your support for my son, honestly. It means a lot to me.
Thank you so
and
much.
that's coming home with us, by the way. I'm telling you that now.
There you go. Thank you, Maurizio. The promise has been made. Big D, David Adeleye, what's happening? I heard you David, introduced as the Chosen One. Have you changed your nickname without telling anyone?
No. It just ended up coming to me, and yeah, like David the Chosen One Adeleye, so I run with it. I can't complain.
How's it been up there in Camp Fury? You've seen John every day. You've been around Tyson. You've been sparring some great heavyweights. How's it been?
Good. I mean, like I said, I'm a student and I'm there with people about to graduate. So I'm just learning. I'm learning, and it's been top banter. I mean, yeah, man, I love it. John gives me bloody jokes every day. Yeah, it's been good.
What would you say the main thing you've learned from it all has been?
Everything, and experience does play a factor. You know, you can be good and whatnot, but being experienced is something else. So I'm just learning. I'm learning, and every day, I mean, you ask John what I was like and taking advice from everyone. I'm a sponge, I soak it all up. I was going into spars, John was telling me, look Dave, do this, you're good at doing this, do that, and I mean, I'd go out there and do it. I'm a sponge, I just learn, I learn.
Tell us, John, what's he like then?
He's not in our camp for note. I'm expecting big things. If he takes half what he's learned in this camp in that ring, it's a walk in the park Saturday night for this kid. He's only a pup at the game. He's a young boy, and what I like about him, he's took his lumps and bumps in that camp, and he was never late for a spar. He was always trying to make the next round better. You know, he's looking and trying all the time. And towards the end of the camp, I was very impressed with this kid. And, you know, I said to you, David, didn't I? That's how I'm impressed with you. So I'm seeing a different David Adeleye now. Yeah. Steel, sharp and steel, don't he? He's been a great asset to the camp. No, and thank you, David. Thank you very much.
David, before I let you go, I've got to get your thoughts on the main event. How do you see it going?
Tyson stops it. I said it already when I'm going with my man. And like I said, I've seen it behind closed doors. Everyone else sees it, you know, on the big stage. I see what they're working on behind closed doors. And it's the intricate things. It's the things people don't think about, it's what they're thinking about. And I think that's what separates him from others. And I said it to him when I was in the ring with him and afterwards, and we're training and we're doing certain sessions. I'm saying, this is what separates you from everyone else, because you're doing things that nobody else would really think about. And I'm glad I'm starting to learn it now as an 8-0 pro. Because God knows, when I get to that sort of level, I'd know what to do and what not to do.
His mindset's a whole lot better now than when he first came. He's learning the fight game now, he's learning the fight in there. You know, he's thinking on the job now, where he didn't before, did you? Now he's thinking, he's placing his feet right, he's looking for the shots properly. You know, this kid, you know, he's a great prospect. You know, because like I say, Tyson would not have him in the camp if he didn't see anything in him. He's a likeable kid. And you can't do any good with this lad. God help TV, look at him. And Adonis.
Thank you.
David, good luck to you, and thank you for all what you've done for us. Thanks for the help, yeah?
Absolute pleasure, David. We'll see you in the week.
Definitely.
Looks like we
was one of the best seen in British ring history in 2021.
All the hard stuff's over now.
They're a great team, him and David, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He looks after him like his son. Honestly, and he wants the best for him.
I look after him like I'm his mother.
Nick Ball in the ring at the moment, going through his paces. I mean, this is a huge moment in his life, right? He's a fighter who's really gone under the radar, and all of a sudden, he's fighting in front of 94,000 people at Wembley Stadium, John.
I'll be honest with you, I think this could be the fight of the night, because he's an aggressive fighter. Isaac's an aggressive fighter, you know, and I think this is going to be a great hors d'oeuvre to the big one. You know, and both boys want to win this. Nick Ball, you know, what can you say about him? He's blood and guts, and he's a trier, isn't he? He's a warrior. You can see that in him. Look at his eyes there, you know, you can see a real fighting man, can't you? But by God, he's up again one in Isaac Lowe, believe me. Because for my money, Isaac lost to the best featherweight in the world the other day. You know, and at the end of the day, he didn't stop trying, Isaac. He just, you know, he just wasn't good enough on the night. But this now is a great comeback fight for Isaac. Well, yeah, it's a tough one.
It's a tough one, right? And that's what I was going to ask you. After a fighter suffers their first loss, you'd forgive them for maybe taking an easy one, right? Maybe easing themselves back in, getting the confidence back. Isaac Lowe has picked Nick Ball as his opponent. That is no easy touch. That's deep end stuff.
Isaac Lowe don't know what easy means. You know, he's a little warrior. He's not called a Westgate warrior for nothing. You know, what you see is that with Isaac is what you see, what says it on the tin. You know, I'm looking forward to this because they're going to be toe to toe. These two could probably fight in a telephone box. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be a great spectacle. I can't wait for this one, Dev, honestly.
Yeah, this is the one that has caught the public's imagination on the undercard. No one can really have a go at this fight. This is one of those you can't really pick a winner.
No. But the thing is, I just think Isaac may have boxed at that bit touch higher level, you know, but Nick Ball here, his height could play a factor in this fight because he's very short, you know, and Isaac's, you know, it's a different thing for Isaac, this one. But he can bring the punches up through the middle, you know, from around the sides. And believe me, the one with the best engine's going to win this. That's how I see it, you know, because they're going to knock lumps off each other. You know, but for my money, it's going to be the fight of the night, this one.
Well, his trainer, Paul Stevenson, has described Nick Ball as one of boxing's best-kept secrets. And he says that the secret's going to be out in front of 94,000 people at Wembley.
But like I say, he's a young man, and let's hope he can handle the occasion, because it's a lot to do. Fights can be won and lost walking to that ring, especially with a crowd of this size. A big show. If they take too much pressure on board, they'll blow a fuse. But I'm sure his handlers have put him through all that. They've coaxed him along. You know, it's a big stage. You know, and at the end of the day, where better to shine than Saturday night than Wembley Stadium. 94,000 people. You know, he's a very lucky young man. And so is Isaac.
Yes, we're here at Box Park, Wembley. This is the public workout to kick off Fury Whyte Fight Week. It's this Saturday night live on BT Sport Box Office. Nick Ball currently in the ring. He's in the fight of his life against Isaac Lowe. WBC International Silver Featherweight Championship on the line. And Isaac Lowe, I mean, he's got his work cut out, but you know, he likes a war, doesn't he, Isaac?
Absolutely. You know, he's a come-forward fighter. He's actually a nice boxer, Isaac Lowe, but when he gets hit hard, it goes out the window, and he's hard to rein back in, you know. And for my money, he's got to stick to his boxing with Nick Ball. If he gets involved in a tear-up, it could be a lot different, you know. But he's got the ability to box. He's got a nice jab. He's got decent footwork. He's just got to play the game right here with this Nick Ball, because he's a good kid, this.
Well, let's see if we can grab Nick Ball for a quick word. Nick, come join us. How you doing?
Oh, how are you, Nick? How are you, kid? All good, too. Nice and relaxed in there. I was looking at you there, kid.
Dying to go, but got to stay relaxed and
you know what?
save it for Saturday.
I can see a true fighter man the minute I look at him.
Yeah.
And this man is a true warrior, you know,
yeah.
And this is going to be, for my money, the fight of the night.
Yeah, you know that, innit?
You know, because you're matched right. You're both like a scrap, so it's going to be interesting, believe me.
That's it,
and like I say, the one with the best engine is going to come out on top of you, because Isaac likes to get drawn into a fight. You love a scrap.
Yeah.
So what an order.
As you said, the one who wants it more, innit? It's going to come out on top.
That's the spirit, young man.
This is the fight, really, that's caught the public's imagination on the undercard because of how well matched it is. What do you think is key to you winning this fight on Saturday night?
Being the best I can be, and I know what I can do, and then that's just letting that happen on Saturday night.
Are you surprised that Isaac Lowe is just taking his first loss? A lot of the time, people go for an easy touch, they ease their way back in, confidence-building fights. He's gone for Nick Ball. Are you surprised that this fight's happening?
Not really, no. He's a proper fighter, isn't he? So that's what proper fighters do. He'll fight any man, so yeah.
Well, finally, your prediction for Saturday night, not just your fight, but also for the main event.
The main event, Tyson win. Yeah, definitely.
Music to John's ears.
Yeah, you never know. Obviously, in boxing, anything can happen, but especially heavyweight boxing. But I'm going with Tyson. Me, like, yeah.
What about yourself? How's the fight going to play out?
My fight, win. A win by any means, yeah, necessary.
Do you want any final words?
What we've got to say here is give these boys massive props for fighting each other. They could have both picked easier fights. A comeback fight for Isaac, he could have picked a lot easier than Nick Ball. So credit to these men for fighting each other. The two warriors, they believe in themselves like you've never believed in anything. You know, and both men want to win here. You know, and I say this is going to be a fantastic scrap while it lasts. You know, because guns blazing all the way. Credit to you, Nick, for facing Isaac. Credit to Isaac for facing him. I'm looking forward to it, believe me. And good luck, young man.
Nice one, thanks.
Good luck. The best man will win.
Definitely.
Good luck, Nick. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in the week. Isaac Lowe now up next, taken to the ring. I mean, he's a good lad, Nick Ball. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and he comes from a fighting city.
Yeah.
Liverpool, all good champions come out of Liverpool, you know, for that.
I'll tell you, they've got something going on in that gym right now. They've got himself, they've got Andrew Kane, who we saw knock out a fella in 19 seconds the other night, Brad Strand as well. There's three little fellas who may be the future of boxing in that city.
Well, listen, you know, I know for a fact I've trained there for 10 years myself. I know what they're about. They do work hard, and there's a lot of knowledgeable trainers and advisors in Liverpool. You know, they've got good singers, good footballers, and they've got excellent fighters as well. So good luck to both boys. I'm props to them for taking it.
And now we are joined by Gareth Davis. How are we, sir?
Very well, thank you. Great to be here. Finally, it feels like, you know.
Yeah, we're here now, Gareth.
Your thoughts heading into this fight? 94,000 people, sold out Wembley Stadium. Fight week has finally started. Dillian Whyte's taking part. What are your thoughts right now?
Well, he's absent today, which is a shame, I think. It'd be great to see him. He looks in fantastic shape. I know Big John will want Dillian in the best shape because he believes that Tyson beats everyone in their best shape. I'm not going to predict against Tyson. I might be getting a headlock. I'm not.
No, every man's entitled to his opinion when it's valid. But like I say, he's got a puncher's chance, that's it.
Absolutely, and it's heavyweight boxing,
yes,
of course.
That's why we're tuning, Gareth.
Exactly. Look, Tyson is the favourite for a reason.
Absolutely.
He's shown versatility and adaptability. We've seen it over the last, I'd say, 7 years. We've seen his style adapt. He knows his optimum weight of around 19 a bit plus stone. He knows his power. He's a happy fighter. He's a happy person. This is a great occasion.
Absolutely.
Tyson's homecoming after 4 years of kind of becoming a massive name in America and transforming into probably in the mainstream one of the most popular sports people in this country right now because of his mental health story, because of the way he is, the way how natural he is, the backstory, the big traveller, dangerous traveller family, and he's transformed things. And it's an amazing journey to follow and to report on. I think he wins by late stoppage or even on points. He's probably got 5 different ways of fighting Dillian Whyte. But I do think there may be some drama in this fight, not least when they finally come together at the press conference. Can't wait for that.
To be honest with you, let's give Dillian Whyte some credit here, you know. Because for my money, he's been badly advised. That's probably why he's not here today. He's playing some kind of game. But if that works for him, good luck to him. But I want to give him some credit. Because he's here. He's prepared to fight. He's trained hard. You're going to see the best Dillian Whyte. Now, I don't see any better opponent for Tyson than Dillian Whyte for Saturday night. Do you agree?
I do. I mean, right now there isn't. I mean, you know, I think in a weird way, if Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte fought right now, I'd probably favour Dillian Whyte slightly.
I think you'd have to.
I think,
on the form book, yeah?
Yeah, I think Tyson against Alexander Usyk is a kind of tricky chess match. And again, Tyson, bigger, very versatile, I think wins that on points. He needs some security there because someone keeps walking around the camera. But look, like you say, Dillian brings it. He wants a war. As he said, he's had an incredibly horrific childhood growing up. A survivor in life, you know the story. He had to hustle and steal and rob to stay alive as a very young man. He became a father at 13, you know, and he will bring war. He believes in himself. And I think the fact that he's the perfect foil for the Tyson Fury fight.
Yeah, I do believe Gareth's got it right there. You know, he's going to try his heart out, Dillian. He's going to use what he's learned over the years as a fighter. You know, we don't know how many miles he's got on the clock, but I'm looking at Tyson and Jimmy's still very fresh. Unless he's unbelievable, Dillian Whyte, I don't give him much of a chance in this fight, because Tyson, like you've just said, he's got too many gears, he's got too many ideas when he gets in that ring, because what we've trained for, you might not necessarily see.
No.
Well, I don't know what Tyson's going to do. You know, he said to me, I'll tell you after round one what I'm going to do. And that's good enough for me. But Dillian Whyte, I'm sure he'll play his part. He's a nice kid, like you say, he's a tough bugger, he's had the upbringing, you know, and I do believe he believes in himself. And at the end of the day, it's heavyweight boxing. Like someone heard someone say before, an 100-to-1 shot can win the Grand National.
100%. Well, look, Gareth, you said that Tyson could fight Dillian Whyte maybe 5 different ways. John doesn't know which way. Tyson said he'll know after the first round. How do you think he's going to fight him when the first bell rings?
Well, I think he'll put his jab out there. I don't think he's going to go gung-ho like he did in the second fight against Deontay Wilder. I think technically Dillian Whyte is a better boxer than Deontay Wilder, but obviously still carries very dangerous power with that counter left hook. He's got a decent jab himself. They both got long arms. I think Tyson will initially, you know what he's like, he goes into a trance and then he's there, will want to find the range first of all. They're both long-armed men, aren't they, interestingly? They've both got big wingspan and they'll want to command the space. It'll be a big ring, I imagine. And I think he'll ease into it.
Well, I think a lot of people are going to be shocked at what Tyson is going to see. The Tyson that's coming to Wembley is not the Tyson that's been seen before in any other fight. You know, because we've had to make adjustments, and that's what good fighters can do. What you're going to see there Saturday night, you won't have seen before in anything previous. Nobody can train for the game plan we put in place, and the right and the left hook ain't going to cut it. If that's all he brings to the table, it's going to be an easy night's work. But listen, talking about it and doing it's 2 different things, isn't it? But for my money, Tyson too big, too strong, too intelligent, and too many tools in his box.
Yeah, and all those things you said there go without saying, but I think speaking, not trying to give anything away, but speaking to inside the camp, and Tyson telling us he's breaking records with his strength and conditioning. Dillian's a very big, strong heavyweight, isn't he? Yeah. With a lot of self-belief. So, you know, and you've said before you thought Tyson was too light 3 years ago. That I think I've seen Tyson, he looks very strong. Physically, he's going to impose himself, I think, in this fight. Not going to be going backwards and elusive. Yeah, heavyweight boxing is very special because they're 18, 19 stone men and they are the biggest warriors on earth. So we expect drama, we expect thrills. It's why 94,000 people get to go after 270,000 got in the online queue. But the thing is, I do think we've seen a transformation in Tyson's style that he wants to engage more.
We'll see.
We will see.
Tell me, Gareth, the 2015 Tyson Fury, that dethroned Vladimir Klitschko, fleet of foot, moving around, does that Tyson Fury still exist?
It does, but it was the IQ of Tyson that night that he took the jab. Klitschko did everything off the jab, and he took his jab away that night, and Klitschko couldn't go with the lead right. He just couldn't do it.
Couldn't let the hammer go.
He couldn't let the hammer go, and Tyson worked him out. And you know, in a very, very tense chess match, he outboxed him and he exposed Klitschko, that Klitschko couldn't throw the right lead without throwing the jab. And I think that's Tyson. He works people out. The great sports people have the ability, in the moment, as you say, to change the pattern of event, to change the pattern of a fight. And that's what he's got.
Gareth, pleasure speaking to you as always.
As always.
Gareth, thanks, John. Looking well.
And I think
thank you very much. Cheers.
Good assumption of everything. So
Gareth A. Davis. Gareth A. Davis. I believe we're going to speak to Big Joe Parker. Look at this.
How are you,
this is family. You are now part of the Brotherhood, right? You're basically a Fury.
Listen, they've taken me in. They've looked after me, very generous, and I feel like I'm part of the family. Yeah.
What's it been like being up in that camp? There's been heavyweights in every day, obviously Tyson himself, but there's been the likes of David Adeleye, Martin Bakole, Jarrell Miller. What's it been like?
It's been a great camp. Like, I don't know, you've been with John and you've been talking to him, and everyone just comes together to give the best they can for Tyson. And he's put in the work, he looks in tremendous shape, and he's ready to go.
Is this the best Tyson Fury that you've seen? You've been in a couple of camps, right?
Listen, this is the best I've seen him in terms of just he's relaxed and he's calm and he's going to go in there and do the job.
What's it been like having this guy in camp and around it all?
This man's my 7th son.
Yeah.
You know, Josie Parker's probably the nicest kid I've ever met in my life. The kid's a big, strong man. He can fight, but he's also a very nice guy, you know, and that takes him a long way in my book. He's well-mannered, he's got respect for his elders. I can't fault this man. He's a true man in every aspect, you know what I'm saying? And it's been a pleasure having this guy around the camp. And I'm just glad we get on so well, you know.
Let's talk about the
human
fight.
being.
A beautiful human being. Look, there's no higher praise than that, Joe. Look at this. Goodness me. Absolute loving. Let's talk about Dillian Whyte. You know him. You've boxed him. How much of a chance does he have? How dangerous is he heading into this fight?
I think Dillian Whyte, you know, he's a handful for any heavyweight. I have first-hand experience how tough he is. But Tyson's done everything leading into this fight to deal with any situation and anything that's in front of him. So he is going to be a tough fight, and of course he can land his shots if Tyson becomes complacent and lets him, but I see it as, my opinion is that Tyson's going to stop him between rounds 5 and 9. But that's how I feel, yeah.
How do you think Tyson will actually approach the fight? Because I saw your bit with BT Sport where you were with Richie Woodhall, and I think you were playing the role of Tyson Fury. Yeah, you were doing all that. Brilliant. Do you think that's what we're going to see, or are we going to see the bulldozer that we've just seen against Deontay Wilder?
I'm not sure. Tyson, it just depends on how he feels. You know, him and his dad, you know, John, and then there's Sugar. They've been coming up with the game plan. Us, we're just there to cheer him on and support him and just support from afar. So I'm not sure what the game plan is, but I'm excited for it to see.
Feels like there's a real sort of siege mentality around the whole camp. You're all gunning to get to the top of your game.
We all want to get to the top of our game, but this is going to be a buzz. The trip down here yesterday was a buzz. This is going to be a buzz. The public workout, press conference, weigh-in. I am damn excited for this fight.
Well, Joe, I think we'll probably speak to you again very shortly, but I'm going to bring in Isaac Lowe here, so we're going to do a bit of swapping here. Good to speak to you, Joe. There we go. Hopefully we can grab Joe again at some point, but let's bring in Isaac Lowe. Isaac, just seen you do your workout there.
Yes.
You're another honorary Fury, but you're basically part of the family up there as well, huh?
Yeah, we're all family. We're all here together. We're all one team, and we all support each other. And we had a great camp, and we're ready to put a show on Saturday night.
You're coming off the back of your first professional loss. Now, I've been saying to John, what you're doing is a little bit different. Sometimes when someone takes their first loss, they ease themselves back in. They pick a journeyman, maybe 2, maybe 3, get their confidence back. You've picked a young, hungry, unbeaten Nick Ball coming to take your head off. Tell us why you've done that.
It's very simple. I believe I'm an elite level fighter. I think last time out, I think I showed it. And if I want to be winning world titles or competing with these likes of these men, no disrespect to Nick Ball, but I should be beating him. And what was the point of coming back to a 6-rounder or an 8-rounder at Wembley? You want something to give you that pump, that drive in the morning, and that's what I've got, and I'm ready to steal the show Saturday night.
Have you seen much of him? Because generally there's a feeling that he's a bit of a secret in boxing. His trainer said he's one of boxing's best kept secrets. What do you know about him?
I don't know much. I've heard it all before, but all I've been keep hearing about is power. But if he had so much power, he would not more than 7 out of his 40 opponents. I fought tough people like Ryan Doyle, who could hit like an house, Ryan Welsh, Lopez last time out. Listen, I've been in with tough lead, and no one can knock me out. I maybe got stopped last time with a body shot, but I can never get knocked out. I won't get knocked out. And on Saturday night, it'll be Nick Ball getting knocked out, not me.
John, fighting words there from Isaac.
Listen, this man is a warrior. He's probably got the biggest heart for a little man that I've ever seen in a human being. He can actually box very good, but he gets taught. He likes to fight, this kid. And like I say, props to both of these men for taking the fight, because you know what, they could have had easier options, both of them. And I think this is going to be the best fight of the night. And like I say, for my money, the form goes with Isaac. He's fought the better person, I do believe. And he did lose, to my money, the best featherweight in the world, and the heaviest-handed featherweight in the world in his last opponent, you know. So Nick Ball and him, you know, what a comeback fight for Isaac. But he's confident, he's worked hard, he's got a heart like a lion, and that's what I think we'll see this man through on the night.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. We've had a good camp. We've trained hard. I've put everything into it, and I said I've got the fire in my belly, and I'm ready to go Saturday night. I wish it was here now. It's just a waiting game. Weight's good. I can fight now. So yeah, we're all ready to go.
Just finally, John. I mean, we've seen Isaac box on so many of Tyson's undercards now. It's almost like a part of a package. Every time he boxes, Isaac's there. What is it about Isaac that Tyson is kind of drawn to, that he has to have him around all the time?
The way he is, he's a fighting man. You know, at the end of the day, this little fella, he's only small in size, but he's got a heart like a lion, and Tyson buzzes off that. And he says to me about Isaac, he said, where would you see a man of his size with as much aggression in his body? If this man was 6'3" and 16 stone, would have to be running. I'll tell you that now. But let me tell you something. Nick Ball's going to bring this to him. It's going to be a tear-up from the off, because both men, they can fight in a telephone box, and like I say, props to Nick Ball for fighting Isaac. They know his credibility, but you know, at the end of the day, this is what we're here to do. 94,000 people. It's all about the fans, and by God, they've got a treat with Isaac Lowe and Nick Ball. Believe me.
A treat on Saturday night. Isaac, thank you for speaking to us, and we'll see you later on in the week. Thank you. Well. Well, we continue our weighing process. Actually, the guy that just walked in front of the camera works for the BBC. Actually went to school with him, Cal Sajjad, so I'm name dropping him now. He's the man who got me into boxing, and I'll tell you, I'm about to take him out if he walks in front of the camera again. I'll get John on him. Big belt in the ring, Maurizio Suleiman. He's in there. He loves his belts, doesn't he, Maurizio?
Isn't it? Yeah. You know, what a nice guy as well, Dev.
Yeah,
it's the first time I've met him, you know, but he's an absolute gentleman, and I credit to his game.
This is a unique creation. The WBC produced this belt for one of these great countries. One of the greatest fights in history between two brilliant fighters. Tyson Fury Dillian Whyte will fight for the WBC Heavyweight Title. This is a special trophy for the winner, representing the elements of victory. So we're very proud to be here. This same belt that Muhammad Ali, that Mike Tyson, that Lennox Lewis once held. This Tyson Fury holding the blue belt. And this union belt is going to be a special.
Incredible. How is it to be here in England for this historic event for you?
Well, it's a great experience. It's my first trip since the pandemic.
Very happy, and it's going to be a great fight.
Well, we are honored to have you here with us. Thank you for sharing what that belt means and talking here today to the boxing fans. Maurizio Suleiman, President of the World Boxing Council.
The only man who can deliver, pull it out every single time when the pressure's on.
Here I am. I'm here and I'm ready, and training is done, and I'm in good shape and ready to go.
I will get back up and knock a motherfucker out.
Isaac Lowe, just had a little chat with him. Johnny looks in good form, looks ready to go, doesn't he?
Well, he's up for it, Isaac, isn't he? He knows what's in front of him. Nick Ball's going to bring it, like I've said. It's going to be a tough match, this, for Isaac on a comeback, especially when you're coming off a loss. Like I say, if it would have been me, I'd have gone down a little bit of an easier route than Nick Ball, because I believe in that kid. And you've seen him study that Nick Ball has somewhat about him, and I'm a good judge of character, you know, but Isaac's in tremendous shape. He's done what he has to do. It's all up to what they do on the night with these boys now. But like I say, the gamest man will probably win this on the best engine, because they're not going to go looking for each other. They're going to be there in front of each other from the bell.
What is it that you saw in Nick Ball? You've said this a couple of times now, that there was almost something in his presence. You saw something in his eyes. Can you tell us what that was?
He was relaxed here. He's not fazed by the crowd or anything like that, you know, and you can see he's confident in his own ability. He knows he can fight, that kid. Like, you know, when you know you can fight, that takes you a long way in this sport. And he's got 100% belief in him, and I see it in his eyes. He thinks he can beat Isaac Lowe, and I can see that in him. You know, and at the end, that's what makes great fights. Isaac, we know what Isaac's about. We've seen him a few times now, but this Nick Ball, I've not seen much of him. What I have seen here is, you know, I like what I'm seeing. He's a fighter, he's a warrior, and he ain't taking no backward steps. Let's just see.
Building up here nicely, isn't it, at Box Park? I'm seeing so many familiar faces around, so many outlets flying over from the US. I mean, if you're in the boxing world, you've got to be here, haven't you, John?
Absolutely, it's magnificent. I'm enjoying it, every minute of it, you know, because like I say, these big shows, they don't happen every day, do they? 94,000 at Wembley. Come on. I'm a privileged man.
You were saying earlier, John, that really it's weeks like this, you've just got to enjoy it, right?
We've done the work. This is the enjoyable part now, and it'll all happen Saturday night. You know, get the weighing out the way, get fed, get well watered and fed, and just get on with your job, what you're trained to do, you know. And don't forget, there's women getting in here. Women get here and knock 7 bells out of each other, you know, so you can overthink this game, can't you? You know, and that credit to all them women boxers, a tough sport, but you know, if this is your thing, and this is your career, do it to the best of your ability and give yourself the best possible chance. And you can do that without putting pressure on yourself.
Well, we've been joined by a very... Oh, actually, no. You're not joining us. Actually, John's going to leave us because...
I will be back very shortly.
John will be back very shortly. And the reason is... Thank you, John. The reason is because John will be taking Tommy Fury on the pads in the ring. He's his trainer. So we're going to let John crack on. And... I think we'll probably have a chat with someone else. Our man Jake is on the ground. He's having a little walk around. He's seeing who he can grab for a chat. We may well have the GAD, the return of Gareth Davis. Gareth, take the mic. Oh, please jump in.
Are you getting me to take the mic off, Big John?
Yeah. Look at this.
Now I'm in trouble.
Gareth, there's been a lot of talk about this undercard. But the Nick Ball, Isaac Lowe fight, no one can sniff at that, right?
No, it's a terrific fight. Listen, I've followed Isaac for many years now. He's always a part of Tyson Fury's camp. I think they're cousins.
Right.
I think they're cousins.
They may be.
I think
they
they're
may
related.
well be. We'll have to get John to confirm that.
But Isaac's on a fantastic journey. He's a guy who I think, in the long term, as Tommy Fury makes his way, of course, John's gone to bully.
Of course, and we looked around, we scoured Box Park for who could possibly replace him, and there was no one better than Ron Lewis over there, but he said no. But we brought in Gareth Davis.
Scraping the barrel as ever. Yeah.
Tell me about the Tommy Fury story, right? I mean, you can't say his name without saying Jake Paul's name, and he hates that, but they're going to be forever linked until they fight.
Yeah, I remember running into Tommy in 2015 in Dusseldorf when Tyson was winning the world title for the first time against Vladimir Klitschko. And Tommy was this little beanpole kid, sprightly, soaking it all up. He must have been, what is he now, 22? Yeah. He was 15.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, I'm Tyson's half-brother. John's my dad. I'm going to be a boxer as well. Who knew that he'd have parallel lives when he went into Love Island, met Molly May? Look, it's a brilliant storyline, it's a brilliant narrative, because he's got that whole influencer narrative going on in his life, as well as this boxing family that's steeped in 10 generations of bare-knuckle fighters from his father John. So, you know, I think he's got the opportunity to progress as a genuine boxer, but he's also got the opportunity to use his influencer kind of personality to have that Jake Paul fight. I think it's still there. I think I think he beats Jake Paul, but I think it's an end game fight for Jake Paul. I know how gutted he was when he broke his ribs, that he had to stand down and it didn't look right for him, but they couldn't afford, with that kind of injury, to take a loss against Jake Paul, because they will feel that they couldn't live that down. They're proud travellers, and they know that he's got that fighting DNA with him. I still love to see the fight. It's enormous.
Yeah, I think everyone would.
It runs down that stream of his life as an influencer. I think it's absolutely fine for him to have it, and it's a big money fight. Why shouldn't he take it?
Well, how important is his mindset, his thick skin? Because he's got thick skin. And he was telling me after he had to pull out of that fight, his DMs, all sorts of bad stuff in there. He went out to go to the shops, and people were calling him names. That's no way to live your life. How important is it that he's got that thick skin and he's able to sort of block it out?
Well, it's really important that he's got the thick skin, and that's great on him, but also he's from that very modern generation where they don't cover it up, they talk about it. And he's very open about it. I spoke to him about it last week as well, and he was saying, oh my God, I don't think I've ever felt as bad in my life. And when you get those experiences, we're all used to abuse on social media now, it happens. It's a very weird world in that way. Fight sport world can be very insidious. MMA and boxing are the same. Anyone can seemingly publish anything about anyone on Twitter. Everyone's got a viewpoint about things. He would have been called a coward and all these kind of things that are anathema to their family. And the weird thing is, like you say, maybe even heard it to his face for the first time.
Yeah.
Having to justify yourself when you know you've had to make a decision like that is obviously very difficult, but he will have grown from that. And he obviously still wants the fight. Jake Paul's a very clever marketeer. He's very used to turning the tables on himself. Look how he wound up Big John in that press conference.
Remarkable. Absolutely. I've never seen anything like it.
No, exactly. But he's a fascinating character study. He's still obviously a novice as a young fighter. He's got a long way to go. He's alighted on the light heavyweight division. He's a big guy already. You know, he's only 22. But no, it's a fascinating sub-narrative to this whole Wembley event.
No, it really is. I mean, how difficult is it to match someone like Tommy Fury, whose profile is obviously up there, but he is learning under the lights. He's having the fights that someone in his position called Tommy Smith, he'd be on at 4 o'clock, there'd be no TV cameras there, and he'd be learning that way. But he's having to do it under the bright lights, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, sometimes even the main event.
Look, from the minute people found out he was starting boxing and his name is Fury, there was going to be interest in him. It's as simple as that. He's learnt to live with it. He's had 3 years in the spotlight. In a weird way, doing well on Love Island has almost trained him for it, you know?
Yeah.
He didn't know when he went in there he was going to come out as a much-loved figure. We see people's personalities when they're stuck in environments like that, and he's a super kid. He hasn't got the craziness about him that Tyson has, or maybe John has as well, in that kind of wild way that John is very emotional and that Tyson is up and down with things. He's learned what to do and what not to do, and I think it's fantastic for him.
Tell us about these public workouts. I think we're going to bring Frank back in.
Oh, we've got the A-team.
Jump in the middle, Frank. Tommy Fury, frustrating period in his career, pulled out of that fight. Do you think we'll ever see this is the Jake Paul fight I'm talking about? Do you think we're going to see that?
Better ask Jake. He's got to win first of all on Saturday, and then it's up to Jake. You know, it was going really well, the fight. They were selling tickets. It was really, really getting a lot of momentum. And then unfortunately, Tommy busted his rib, and with a cold and that, and we had to postpone it. I hope we can resurrect it.
I was just saying, Frank, it's fascinating for Tommy that, in a way, helps him that he's a social media reality TV star. So it's helped him be in the spotlight with having that name Fury in boxing as well.
Of course, I mean, he's got a dub in being Tyson's brother. Helps in a big way. But as you say, from social media, where he's made his own name himself. That's why the fight was made with Jake Paul. You know, two guys who got massive profiles, and it was highly anticipated. As I say, I hope we can resurrect it.
Well, this feels like a bit of a step up in his career so far. I mean, the record looks better than some of the records that we've seen in the past of Tommy Fury opponents. What do you know about this Daniel Bosianski who's going to be taking on Tommy on Saturday night?
Look, he comes to fight, he's a tough guy. Tommy's a novice, he's had this is 7 or 8 fights. Everyone talks about him like he's a British champion. I mean, still having, what's this, it's an 8-rounder this one, isn't it? That's what he is, he's an 8-round fighter. And he's got to learn his trade, and that's what it is.
I was saying that he's learnt a lot from John, sometimes what to be and what not to be, and he's learnt from Tyson as well. And I think for a 22-year-old man, he carries himself so well. He's not got a foot wrong, has he?
He's very smart, he's got a good head on his shoulders, and everything's had to do, he's done. But he's got, you know, anyone who comes to fight him knows if they beat him, they're going to get a bit of a name. So at this stage of his career, they are coming to fight.
Well, with that in mind, Frank, how difficult is it to find the right opponent? Obviously, as you say, everyone wants to fight him. There'll be a queue outside box spot for an attempt at Tommy Fury and to take his own.
Like the old Victorian fairgrounds, yeah.
Exactly that. But how difficult is it to get the right person?
It's fights that he, fights that he has to learn from. So it's a tough fight. And that's how you learn your trade. The good thing of being with Tyson and being in that training camp is great for him. But for me, he's got a long way to go. For him and Jake Paul, they're at the same level in my opinion. So that's why it's a good fight.
And what a light at the end of that tunnel for Tommy. He's gone through all of that adversity, and now he gets to light up Wembley Stadium on Saturday night. What a fitting end to this chapter of his career.
Not bad, is it? Not bad.
How's he looking in there? He's got obviously Big John with him. Can you take much from this, Frank?
All he's doing is going through the motions on the pads. Take nothing from it.
I think one of the things for him, given that he's only 22 and he's so big, powerful, and we know how big all the family are, it might be difficult making 175 eventually for him, you know?
Well, maybe he is because he's built totally different from Tyson.
Yeah.
Totally different. I don't go with all this stuff about muscles and whatever. Everybody's different. Everybody's different.
I mean, he's looked that way since he was about 15 years old. I've seen some old photos. I mean, I don't know what's in the water up there.
Come from good gypsy stock, that's what it is.
What do you make of the camp in general up there, Frank, that Tyson's surrounded himself with? Obviously, Tommy's in it, and Tommy's benefiting from it, but you've got David Adeleye in there, Martin Bacoli, Joseph Parker, Jarrell Miller.
He's in camp with Tyson Fury, his brother.
Can't get better,
don't get no better than that, does it? He's
No,
the world
doesn't get
heavyweight
better.
champion, lineal champion, and fun to be around.
There's things he's taking on board that he's subconsciously through all these camps and being around his brother that it will help him when it becomes his occasion to be in the headline.
Mentally it helps.
Yeah.
But you've got to do the business in the ring, and he's got to do the business in it.
Can I ask you, I think I'm right in recalling that Lennox Lewis, Frank Bruno was your fight, wasn't it, in 1990? It wasn't. How big an occasion is this compared to that back then? Did that take over the nation at the time, do you recall?
Big fight, they put it on in Cardiff, I think they sold about 26,000 seats. It sold 94,000.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Do you think that's because the reach of boxing's become bigger now for the bigger event?
No, I think it's always been there. I think people have always been. It's been having the availability of the venues and so forth. A lot of people didn't give Frank Bruno a lot of chance in that fight, but he gave a really good account of himself. And he got caught with a good shot by Lennox, but he was behind Lennox.
Yeah.
So he got.
One of the things that, sorry, Dev. One of the things that I've been wondering all week is are people looking at the weather forecast for Saturday night as well?
The sun shines down, or the moon shines down.
Only sunshine on Saturday night. We're going to have to do some swapping. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Gareth.
Pleasure.
John Fury is back. Gareth, you might be back later.
I have big boots to replace there.
Big boots.
No doubt.
And of course, Tommy, the man in action on Saturday night. John, how's he looking?
Yeah, he's strong, he's quick and strong. It's everything's right. Look at him, he's a monster.
How you doing? How you feeling, Tommy? I mean, you nice little workout in there, putting on a show for the public.
Yeah, definitely. I feel good, fast, sharp, ready to go. Been training since January, so I'm more than ready for this.
I mean, this feels like it's been, I've said this to you before, a bit of a frustrating period in your career, having to pull out of the Jake Paul fight, but what a light at the end of the tunnel. Wembley Stadium, 94,000 people, Tyson's undercard. Doesn't get better than that, does it?
No, definitely not. I mean, this is the biggest stage you could ever be on. It's the biggest stage you could ever dream to be on. You know, last year was a lot of setbacks, but I've left that in 2021, and 2022 is my year, and we're kicking it off with a bang.
You've been around him every day, John. How's he looking?
He's sick of looking at me, I know that. Listen, I'm not just saying it. This kid works his butt off to achieve where he's got today. He don't need boxing, this lad. He's got other avenues to go down, but he loves this job wholeheartedly. And he said, Dad, my life won't be complete till I win what I want to do, and that's titles. This kid can go all the way, and I believe in him. He's sharp, he's strong, you know. I honestly see shades of Golovkin in there as a younger man, you know, and let me tell you, it's all experience at this level. He's stepped up to the plate, he's got a 10-1 opponent, he's a good kid. You'll see a different Tommy this time, but believe me, you watch.
John, I asked you a while ago, what would it mean to you to have Tyson and Tommy boxing on the same show? It was years ago. Now it's finally happening. What does it mean to you? And Tommy, you're right of reply.
It means everything, you know, but not for me, not for Tyson, but for my dad. You know, he's put so much work into both of us. He's seen hard work going through the years, and we're not feeling this. This is all for my dad, because at the end of the day, it's never going to happen again. And I just wanted to enjoy it as much as he did in his head, but now it's finally here.
Proud moment, John?
Absolutely. When it's happening every day for a father to see two sons box on the same show, 94,000, biggest recorded crowd ever, Wembley Stadium, capital of our hometown, our country. It don't get no better.
Doesn't get better. And we're going to lose Tommy now as he needs more duties. Tommy, good luck. And I think we'll be moving on towards, well, it must be Tyson in the ring soon, John.
Yeah.
John, it looks like Tyson has requested 3 chairs in the ring. What's this about? We see Tim there, camp manager, just sorting through these chairs as we try and figure out what has Tyson Fury got planned. This man is a showman. You never know what he's going to do at events like this. You must have been there, John, when he sung Vladimir Klitschko a little song at the public workout ahead of that fight. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. You know, I love them. You know, for me, this don't get any better than what it is, does it? You know, these public workouts are needed because it gets, like I've said before in today's earlier interviews, it gets the fighters motivated and ready. And this is what they're doing it for, isn't it? It's not all about Wembley Saturday night. I know it is, but in a fighter's mind, it's just like, how can I say, getting warmed up for a big thing. And this is a similar thing. TV crew, camera, people, audience, little or big, it matters.
Yeah, it's all part of the show, isn't it? It's fantastic, and I'm very curious as to what they have planned here. The chairs have been set up very deliberately. Tim's done a great job, Tim, the camp manager there. And now we wait. What has Tyson got in store for us today? Sugar Hill now taken to the ring. How much of a difference has it been having Sugar Hill in camp and that Kronk style?
I've got to say it. I don't know what this is about. What's the chairs about? This is what I say about the Tyson Fury Roadshow. I don't know what's going on here. I'm laughing. I'm doing like a Cheshire Cat here, Dev.
A couple of blankets have now gone on to the chair as well. And I see a green bag. Who knows what's in there? There's a rucksack. Let's find out from Thomas Treiber.
To this open workout as we get set for a historic night of professional boxing this Saturday night at Wembley Stadium. It is all being brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry in association with Bob Arams, Top Rank Incorporated. We also want to acknowledge and thank our great sponsors, 32 Red, Foot Asylum, Unibet, Coinfield, and Arnold Clark. If you are unable to join us at the stadium, you can watch it live on BT Sport Box Office. And for those of you in the United States, you can watch it on Top Rank ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our highly anticipated main event Saturday night is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. We are going to welcome at this time the defending world champion.
Here we see Tyson taking it all in. Security guard Brendan alongside him, holding that WBC World Heavyweight Championship. John, what's going on now? I see a lot of pointing. He's loving it, isn't he? He's taking it all in.
This is what it's about. Soaking up every minute of it. This is it. Just wind him up and let him go, kid.
Absolutely. No, he loves it. You can tell Tyson Fury is a man built for occasions like this, built for the big moment, built for Wembley Stadium, and we were about to find out what on earth is going on with these chairs. Over the top rope he goes, as he always does before his fights. No fight today, just a bit of fun. Public workout here at Box Park, Wembley. BT Sport Box Office.
Otto Wallin in the ring.
In gets Otto Wallin, former opponent. We had a chat with him earlier, and it looks like Otto will be taking one of the chairs. And the crowd are all trying to get a look at what is going on here. Otto himself seems a little perplexed. The shirt has come off. And Tyson Fury looks in shape. He looks in form.
Yes.
Whole camp's here now. And Box Park Wembley is full. Full to the brim. All here to see the Gypsy King, WBC lineal World Heavyweight Champion Tyson Fury, who is, of course, putting on a show. We're live across Queensberry's YouTube channel. The boots are going on, the top has come off, and he's sat down, and Otto Wallin's in the ring. John, what's going on? What are we about to see? Well, let's hear from him.
The winning purse bid of £41,025,000, or around $30.6 million, was the highest for a World Heavyweight title fight.
So was the runner-up, Eddie Hearn's bid of £32,222,222 or $24 million.
Well, Tyson getting his hands wrapped now by Sugar Hill. What about the what about the allegations that followed the first fight with second fight with Deontay Wilder? And look, you can see there's nothing going on there with the hands. Huh?
This man is so relaxed, it's untrue. That's what makes him great. You know, he's got the confidence to sit there with his shirt off. He's not bothered about nothing. Like I said before, it's all about self-belief there, but he's got buckets loads of it. You know, and at the end of the day, it's not how you look, it's how you can fight. You know, yeah, he's not body beautiful, we know that, but at the end of the day, there's a fighting machine in there like no other. You know, and looks are deceiving, believe me. But let me tell you, the confidence of this man, his spirits are high. He just wishes it was tonight. He's ready to go in. I can tell just looking at him, listening to him, his demeanour, he's ready for the off.
What sort of weight do you think we'll see him come in at? Do you think he'll be heavier, lighter than the last fight?
He's a bit lighter, to tell you the truth, in his last fight, yeah. I reckon on the night he'll be about 18-12, 18-11.
Because of Dillian Whyte, or is that just because of the sort of camp that he's gone through?
No, he's worked hard.
Yeah.
He's worked hard in this camp. He's probably worked harder in this camp than any other. You know, so he's done the road work, he's done the rounds of sparring, he's done the heavy bag, he's done the strength and conditioning. He's ate and slept and drunk this game for the last 8 weeks. You know, so regardless what he does in the gym, some people don't look any different. You know, that's just the way they are. It's what they call a DNA thing. But this kid, believe me, he's got an engine second to none.
He's got the Fury DNA, hasn't he? He's got the Fury DNA.
Yeah, Fury DNA. But let me tell you, he's a different man than ever I was or ever knew how to be. Well, like I say, if there's 20 rounds to box, he'd box 20 rounds Saturday night, believe me.
There is a bonus for Dillian Whyte. If Dillian Whyte is able to get the job done, he gets a massive bonus. How much of a factor is that, do you think, for Dillian?
Well, it's like anything else. It's a tall order for Dillian Whyte because this man brings so much, so different aspects to the ring. And Saturday night, I don't know what's coming myself. You know, so at the end of the day, you need to be Einstein to mess with this man. And if you're not on that level with the brain, what can you do? You know, because if you've got a missile and you can't direct it to the target, what good is it to you? I'll tell you, no good. It's hitting this man's a problem. When Tyson does not want to be hit, he don't get it. But you know what? You see what he does. Totally different to what you've seen before.
Tell me, John, your relationship with Tyson, this father-son relationship, I always say that at some point the son gets to a stage where the father starts learning from him, where the father starts seeing his son turn 18, 19, 20, 21, 25, you know, and he starts learning from the son. Do you feel as though you've started learning from Tyson at all yet?
No matter, you can be 85 years old and still learn something new. I'm learning from these boys every day, but it's a new world for me, this. It's a young man's world, that's why I have generations. The older generation moves on for the new one. Different things come to boxing. Like, you can't compare a 1970s fighter to these lads today, you know, because it's just how it is. Like, you can't compare a 1960s vehicle to today's car. Things move on. And like I say, ability moves on, people move on. But I stay in my lane, I look and observe, and if I see something I'm not comfortable with, I speak my mind. And 9 times out of 10, they can answer me with a perfect answer, solving my problem. So that's all I want, to be problem solving. And if I'm happy in here, I know it's right.
And have you had to crack the whip at all in this camp? Has there been any cracking of the whip, anything that you've seen that you didn't like, that you've had to kind of say something?
No. If anything, we've had to say, you know what, let's just ease off of it. Let's just get it all back in the tank, have a few days off here and there, relax a bit more. That's the only thing, really. Because he's addicted to training, this man. Loves it.
Well, he's
been doing 4 mile runs up an hill.
Yeah.
1 in 5 for 4 miles. That takes an engine. And I'll tell you what, we've had a lot of fighters quit on that run. You know, lighter men, heavier men, there's only a few done it. Joe Parker's one of them. David Adeleye completed it the other day. When he first came, he never got a quarter away. But he completed before he left camp. So that's where we're at with this. You know what I'm saying? Improving every day.
In terms of the mindset here for Tyson, obviously, when you're fighting Deontay Wilder, you know that this man is going to bring hell. This man can leave you unconscious on the floor. Is it the same sort of thing with Dillian Whyte? Is Tyson mentally in the same place, do you think, where he's looking at Dillian Whyte in the same bracket as Deontay Wilder, as a man that can render him unconscious?
Yes, most definitely. Because every time you step in that ring, it's a risk. I don't care, any man over 15 stone's got the capability, if you're not on clock, to put you out of it. And you know, he's not about to fall at the final fence now. And at the end of the day, it'll be sacrilege to me for that to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because it's down to me to keep them positive, keep them switched on. I say, look, son, all heavyweights are dangerous. Any man can just get lucky, so what you haven't got to do is put him in that position to get lucky. He's on clock, Tyson. That's not going to happen. That music's a pain, isn't it? Hey.
Not a fan of this one, John?
That's why I know I'm in the wrong generation.
To be honest, I think this might not even be in my generation, John, but the tunes are banging here at Box Park, Wembley. Everyone's getting involved. What do you make of the Kronk versus Kronk, which has emerged around this fight? Obviously, Tyson's got Sugar Hill in his corner, but Dillian Whyte has an element of Kronk as well. He has Harold Knight, who's part of his camp. How do you feel about that? And has it really? Have you really noticed it?
Yeah, he's sitting down his punches more, but he knows when to use Kronk and when not to, and that's where my part comes in. I said, mix this to the game you already had, and you can't go wrong. Never neglect what took you to the titles in the beginning. But what he can do is adapt in the middle of that ring. When he knows he's got to sit down on his shots, he will. And until that, he can keep moving. This man is an incredible boxing teacher. And he loves the KO. Like I like ice cream, he likes MKOs. But sometimes you've got to know what to do leading up to the KO, haven't you? If it comes, it comes. If it don't, it don't. But no doubt with Sugar Hill in his corner, he'll be looking for it.
Well, that's what they look for. When I spoke to Tyson a little while ago, he said that he was looking for a Wilder style KO on Saturday night. Do you think that's possible?
Like I say, you never just don't know. With this man, he's a crazy member. He's as mad as a box of frogs. I can't tell what he's thinking from 1 minute to 1 minute, because we can come out them tunnels and say, right, you know what we're going to do now, don't you? Yes, Dad, I've got it. He goes in and just something totally different.
So many familiar faces around. Anyone who's anyone in boxing is here today. You can see it. It's fantastic occasion here. It's a Tyson Fury fight week, and it's good to have it back in the UK.
Yes, you know what this man represents? All those people out there who's not got fortunate to have a genetic gift like a good body. He's for them. He gives everybody hope. He gives them all hope. All sizes of human being, he gives hope to them. Because believe me, to look at him, that is there, the #1 best heavyweight in the world. And he looks like an average Joe. And that's the beauty of all this. It's amazing, isn't it?
There's been some great videos.
Sometimes I look at him and shake me and think, well, you know what, how can you do this? And yet he does it.
There's been some great videos that have gone round where you see Vladimir Klitschko on the scales, body of an Adonis.
Yeah.
You see Anthony Joshua on the scales as well, and then people say things like, oh, this guy will beat both of them, and look at the shape.
He's made them think twice, all of genetically gifted people. Don't get me wrong, there's no wrong with it for the movies. We're not in the movies, we're in the fight game. And let me tell you, it takes all shapes and sizes to run a world properly. Tim! Look at that movement though, look at that movement there, look at them legs. He's got Sheargar's legs.
Well, there you go. I mean, any talk about can he still move as he did, I mean, he's showing a little bit of that now.
This man is so tricky for an heavyweight. Honestly, it'll be a long time before you see this kind of ability again in an heavyweight.
I mean, it must be a nightmare to fight. John, obviously you were a heavyweight yourself. How would you have taken on this task of fighting someone like Tyson Fury?
I wouldn't have done that. I would have avoided him. I'd have run a mile because you think, hang on a minute, he ain't making me look a fool. Because that's what he'd have done. Listen, I was only a club fight to get an £100 a fight. And I never trained, had a day job. It wasn't me first and foremost love, you know, but it was just a thing to earn money to feed me family. That's a well-documented thing. But this lad's took it to another level. And I got to British and European level without training. So something's got a good command. Look what I've produced. A phenomenon, sorry.
At what point, John, there must have been a point where you realised, obviously you could say when he first threw a punch, but there must have been an actual point in his career, maybe something that happened in training where you thought, this guy's going to go all the way and he's going to rule the heavyweight division.
From the day he was born, Dev, I knew he was destined for something, you know. And I knew when he was 11 years or 12 years old, ability, dedication, I knew he was special. But listen, we never knew. A British title would have done me. I'd have been over the moon with that, but you know what I knew when I seen him sparring as a 16-year-old, he was going to do big things. And you know what, Dev? I love every inch of fat on that boy.
We'll tell him that. I think he'll be joining us for a chat after this workout. Every inch of fat on that boy. Great line.
I'm fat myself. I can still walk about.
Third man in the ring is MC Thomas Triber, who I've just had pointed out to me by Danny Flexen of Seconds Out, that Thomas Triber actually announced the debut fight of Tyson Fury all those years ago. I remember that fight. It was back in 2008, as the producer hands me a can of Furiosity. I remember that fight back in 2008. Thomas Triber was the MC for that. How far we've come, John. Hey, Thomas Triber, MC for the debut and MC for this and Saturday night.
To see me though,
yeah.
You know, because for him to turn up, you know, what a feeling. It's right at the beginning, you know, he's here now, like you say. Brilliant.
We're about to see some action on the pads now. Here we go. Southpaw, John.
Wow.
Sugar Hill's in some shape as well. I remember hearing a radio interview where he said that he was going to get in shape for this week because Tyson was going to make him take his top off. And here we are.
You can see the speed, the accuracy, the footwork. He's there with it. And this is from the southpaw position.
What do you make of that, John? Is this, do you think he's planning on boxing Dillian Whyte southpaw?
I can't give too much away there, Dev, because you'll see Saturday night. We've covered all ground with this.
Once again, Tyson Fury joined in the ring by his trainer, from the world famous Crown Gym in Detroit, Michigan.
I mean, usually, John, in a fight week, in a public workout, you'll see boxers go through the motions, not really give much away. But by Tyson taking this stance, is it almost like a kind of, and I'm talking about the southpaw stance, is it almost like if Dillian Whyte's watching it, whether Tyson decides to fight him southpaw or not, he's giving him something to think about here?
That's what it's all about, you know, but listen, that's probably what you're going to see. It's probably not what you're going to see. It's one of them. There's many more where this come from. This is just a glimpse into what this man can do. On the night, we've got 5 or 6 things planned, but we've been training on, not just one. Look at the look on his face. He's in that killer mood now, look. Self-belief is what it's all about.
Do you think that switch has hit now? Do you think he's switched into fight mode now?
The crowd get him at it, the cameras, the people, it takes him somewhere else. The nice Tyson goes out the window. Look at it, look at his face there. It's all in his eyes. You know, you can tell, like I said about Nick Ball, they get here, this kind of atmosphere changes them mentally into a machine.
I'll say, you talk about the eyes, the little face-off before the third Deontay Wilder fight was one of the greatest little face-offs I've ever seen. Here we go.
Man's crackers.
Was it mad as a box of frogs, you said, John?
Oh, and more. Speed of him.
I feel as though this is a guy that could have held his own in any era, John.
Hey?
This is a man that could have held his own in any era.
Yeah, of course. Like I say, the fighting's moved on.
Tell me, John, as you're watching this, right, you've been watching this for the last 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Are you looking at it as Tyson just putting on a bit of a show? Or are you sort of in your head correcting any mistakes? Are you like, oh, Tyson, you should have done that?
Nah, this is the enjoying part of it. He knows what you got to do. No, not true. I'm just looking at him now, just getting him loose and warm, and it's really a little mini workout, really. You know, it's just a warm up, get the muscles relaxed and that, just so they don't get stiff in it.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury is the heavy favorite in this fight. And again, he has stated that this could be his last fight ever against Dillian Whyte this Saturday.
Interesting point there from Thomas Schreiber. He said it could be Tyson's last outing ever. I guess he is referencing comments from Tyson in the build-up to this fight where he'd said he was going to retire after. John, tell me it's not true.
Again, Dev, 94,000 people change a man's mind within a second. Where can you go after that? You can't go back to normality. You can't go picking the kids up from school, reading the paper, going for a coffee at Starbucks. You want that bit more, and they're all right for a few weeks. I'm his dad. I know him better than anybody. It won't be his last fight. No. He's got Usyk and he's got AJ yet, the winner of them two. That's enough to bring any man back, and that'll be another 100,000 crowd with a winner of them. So what's he going to do? Watch all that take place, him sit at home drinking coffee. That's not Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury just taking it all in here at Box Park, Wembley. Tell you, John, it's filled up very nicely here. The last time he was in the UK, 2018, Belfast, he fought against Francesco Pianetta. Really, it was a Carl Frampton fight week with a bit of added spice from Tyson Fury, and of course Deontay Wilder. But look how far he's come.
Yeah. Look at that jab. It's one Larry Holmes have been proud of. We've just been watching some old fights down the week. Larry Holmes, at 42 years old, boxed a 27-year-old Evander Holyfield. What a performance from Holmes. And that's at 42, not 33. We watch that, and you know what? That's where we get all this from. Because they say, listen, you know, if they can do that at 42, what can I do at 32 and 33? He's not finished yet, this man.
Do you feel as though his style, the way he is, the way he looks after himself now as well, that can take him to boxing into his 40s?
He's not had a drink in over a year. So he's been dedicated. But when he has a couple of good meals, has a good intake of water, you know what I'm saying, and a day's rest or so, his body will fill out and he's like a bull in there on the night. And I've been in the ring with him with a body armour on. He's so strong up close. You know, thinking, my God, now I'm 20 stone in weight. He throws me around like a rag doll.
When did that start happening, John? Because you're a big fella yourself, and there must have come a point where Tyson sort of started physically dominating you in a way. Can you remember?
I think he's about 11 years old, Jeff. No, we've always done that. We've always worked with the body armour, the heavy bags and all that. You know, like I said to you before, I've been playing around with these boys all my life. You know, I mean, so much of it's got to rub off. And when you bring talent like Sugar Hill's got to the game as well, yeah, I'm not saying all the other guys weren't talented in the past, because they was, but this man brings something else, and he brings what the fans want, knockouts. He's proved that. People only buy into heavyweight boxing for one thing, knockouts.
Let's bring in Tommy Fury here. Tommy, big night for Tyson, 94,000 people Saturday night. What are you seeing here? It looks like he's done the whole thing in Southpaw.
Yeah, I mean, this has all been seen for the past 15 weeks, you know, since January. He's looking in amazing shape for this. He's ready for it, as you can see. You know, it's going to be a hell of a night. And, you know, Tyson, for me, wins inside 6 rounds.
Hey. Yeah. They made a big deal of that. Come on.
There he is. Tyson Fury. Let's bring Tommy back in.
Go on, son, the best in the world.
John on
the number one heavyweight in the world. There he is.
Apologies for any shouting you may have heard there, but we've got a very passionate dad here who's watching his son light up Box Park, just like he's going to watch him light up Wembley Stadium Saturday night. Look at the shape of him. Tyson
He's
looks
up for it, Dev.
Oh.
Like you wouldn't believe. He's like a man possessed in there.
Yeah. No, he looks in a great place physically, mentally. He looks ready to go, dripping with sweat here. Done the whole thing in Southpaw as well, which I'm sure will start a lot of conversations.
And what you're going to look at, Dev, look what he's doing here by himself.
Yeah, he's done fantastic. We're going to grab a word with Tyson once he jumps out of the ring.
What's happening?
I think he's going to speak to BT Sport first, and then we'll jump in for a word with the man himself. Thomas Schreiber himself may have a few questions. Oh, he's taking the mic, Tyson. Let's go over to Tyson Fury.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Right into our training. We didn't get in here and mess around. We got in here and done 3-4 proper rounds for everybody. Big shout out to everybody who come here today. Big shout out to everyone who bought a ticket for the fight on Saturday. My promise is that you're going to see an excellent fight. Dylan's been training away hard in Portugal. He's bringing his A game. He's going to fight the best Tyson Fury, and I hope I'm going to fight the best Dillian Whyte. And we're going to give the fans a real treat, because you've got 2 top heavyweights in the world going to smash each other to bits for the entertainment of the paying customer. So enjoy, guys, enjoy. Do not miss this one. There's going to be a lot of fireworks, a lot of bombs getting slinged, and I wonder who's going to get knocked out first. It ain't going to be me, I tell you that. Right, I got 2 wraps here. I'm going to throw them out to you. Whoever gets them, gets them.
There we go, Tyson Fury throwing his wraps out.
Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it.
Like a new bride with those wraps. A couple of very happy.
Yes, here we go, lad.
John Fury is buzzing, absolutely hyped. We'll be bringing in Tyson very shortly after he's spoken with BT Sport.
We've got to wait our turn now, Dev.
Got to wait our turn. He's buoyed off his dad. He'll be back. BT Sport will get their slot with Tyson. He'll come and speak with us.
No, showtime.
Sugar Hill. Sugar, welcome. Big John.
Big John, how you doing, Big John? How you doing?
Hey,
Nice
not
to
seen
meet
you in
you.
a while.
Hey, it's a pleasure to meet you, finally. I
And
heard so
you,
much
sir.
about you.
Likewise.
John, you have been singing the praises of Sugar Hill. I mean, it's almost every couple of minutes he says something nice about you, Sugar. Tell us what you think about this man training your son, how much he's brought him on. And the
He just enjoys my cooking, that's it. On the grill, only on the grill.
The steak's phenomenal, but let me tell you, his boxing, what he brings to Tyson's game is unquestionable. This man is a boxing teacher, he's an expert, he's the best in the business, and he brings the knockout power to Tyson's game, and that's what the paying fans, the public want, the knockout. And with this guy in his corner, that's what you're going to see. He don't do nothing else but knockouts, Kronk style. And I tell you what, he's improved my son so much. Thank you, Sugar Hill.
Knock out your hands.
So fast. Let's face the cameras. Let's bring you in, Sugar.
Knock out your hands.
I know, so quick, so quick. Sugar, Tyson just did the whole thing, it looked like, in Southport. What does that mean?
It just means that Tyson's very versatile and well-rounded. And I don't mean around his midsection either. He's a well-rounded athlete. He can do anything.
There's been a lot of talk about how he's going to approach this fight, how he can fight 5 or 6 different ways. What can you tell us?
7 now. 7 different ways now. Yeah, we just made another one up last night on a drive coming down here from Malcolm.
Fantastic. So 7 different ways. Can you give anything away?
Yeah, I just told you it's a 7. You said 6. Yeah. No. It's no secret. I mean, I train Tyson for the knockout. I don't want to do anything less than that because if you come up short, I feel like you get the win anyway. But if you just go for a win and you come up short, what do you get? You get a loss. So yeah, training Tyson for the knockout. There's a lot of things that we've been working on as far as mental and setting things up a lot more in this fight than we did the last fights with Deontay Wilder, just because it was a different opponent. So I feel this camp and the things that we worked on are going to be excellent and used wisely in this fight.
Do you feel as though Dillian Whyte is a smarter fighter than Deontay Wilder, therefore you have got to look at doing things a little bit differently?
I don't want to say he's smarter than a Deontay Wilder. On this level of elite fighters, they're all smart, they're all intelligent, or they wouldn't be here to this point. So Dillian Whyte just brings a different element to Tyson Fury's boxing game that we're able to use in this fight here.
And what about this Kronk versus Kronk element? There's yourself in Tyson's corner, and then there's Harold Knight in Dillian Whyte's corner, that influence. Have you given that much thought?
No, it's just Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte is only in my thoughts. It has nothing to do with me, it has nothing to do with Harold Knight. It just has to do with Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte on the night of Saturday. Simple and plain. Nobody else can help those two men but themselves in that ring. We give advice and things that the fighter can do, but that fighter has to listen to the trainer in order for that to come true and to fruition in the fight.
John's been up in camp with you every day. I mean, it sounds like you've got so many great heavyweights up there, so much great work. How much better has this camp been than the last?
This camp has been a breath of fresh Malcolm air. Training up in Malcolm, the tide rises and falls twice a day. You know, it couldn't be better. Every camp is a great camp, but this one was a great camp just being in Malcolm the whole time, so I enjoyed it. And Tyson did too, and with Big John here.
Pleasure to speak to you, Sugar Hill. We're going to bring in Tyson Fury very shortly.
Yeah, bring him in.
Let's bring him in. Let's bring the big man in.
Big man, we need you over here.
Tyson Fury joins the party.
I can't reach the top shelf. I need you to...
Tyson, you want to jump in there?
Fast there, Tyson.
Yeah, look all right.
All
right.
You feel good? Feeling good out there?
Felt good, you know. Everyone comes here to do a little bit of messing around too, shadowboxing, whatever. I got in there, did a decent, I think I did 3 or 4 rounds on the pads, a bit of a round shadowboxing. So that's my workout for the day done now, and I thought it was good. I felt all right. Did I look sharp?
Look sharp as a razor, son.
Good, yeah, I felt all right, to be fair.
What about the turnout here at Box Spot? They've really turned out for you.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Great support from everybody who took the time out today to come down and watch the lads and watch me. It was great, you know, good support, good scream, good banter. It was fantastic. I'm looking forward to the press conference and the fight night more than anything now.
Well, that will be the first time you see Dillian Whyte. Tomorrow, the main press conference. What are you expecting?
What can I expect? It's a boxing fight, you know, it's nothing we haven't seen before. Dylan's going to come with his energy and that's it really. Great. We've been face to face many times before. It's nothing new. I've boxed a million times before and just another step along the journey, that's it.
John, how proud are you right now? I mean, this guy, from where he's come from, suddenly 94,000 people, Saturday night, he sold it out, as he said, on his own. He's bringing Sugar Hill as well. Tell us how proud you are of your boy.
Words can't express how proud I'm of this man. I love every inch of him, mate. You know, at the end of the day, he's a proper man. He loves the people who loves him, you know, and he thanks everybody. He always takes time out for thanking people, you know. He's a special person in the ring and out of it. He's got a great trainer in Sugar Hill. This man can't go wrong. He's a reigning, defending champion. He'll be like that for a lot of years to come. He hasn't been a man born yet can beat Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. And I've said it first. God bless you, my son. Fabulous. And I love you to death, son. Love him like no other man in the world.
He loves you to death. Tyson, I want to ask you one thing. It looked like you did the whole thing, the whole workout there in Southport. Now, when I spoke to you a few weeks ago, yeah, lefty. Are you giving something away?
Lucky lefty, man. Now, we all know about ambidextrous, and I can punch with both hands. I've had knockout wins with the right and the left. So, you know, just sharpen them all up. Right hands, left hand, well sharp. Ready to rock and roll, then with Sugar.
Ready to rock and roll, guitar, and air drums.
Yep.
When I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago, you said that you were looking for a Deontay Wilder style knockout. Is that the plan?
That's what we're aiming for. You know, it's what Conk delivers, Sugar delivers. It's that knockout style, exciting style. I was watching all the greats yesterday, getting inspiration from George Foreman, Larry Holmes, Joe Frazier. It was good, you know, and to see Sugar calling it all before it happens. It cements what I always think anyway, but it's been a great camp. We've always had good fun in it, and we're looking forward to a good hard fight, Sugar, aren't we? And if it's anything less, then we're in for an early night. Straight to the bar, I think.
Yep.
He started talking now, Dillian. He's been making a few comments in the media. Are you glad that he's now involved in promoting this fight?
Yeah, I'm happy because I don't have to do all the work now. So I'll step back and let him take over from now on.
Tyson, any questions? John?
I think he answers every question, don't you? People listen to me, but I'm telling them what this man is. I've been saying this about my son since he's been born, but I know a lot of true fans now in the world is waking up to Tyson Fury. With Sugar in his corner, he's going to go from strength to strength. And you know what? Thank you, Sugar, for making my boy a better man. God bless you.
I want to thank you,
sir.
You're the man that raised him.
You're the man who's trained him now,
so
brother.
much, you know, so yeah, it means a lot
Great
to me.
stuff. It means a lot to me as well. Thank you, brother.
Signing some wraps here.
One of the hand wraps that I chucked out into the crowd earlier. The little boy caught it.
Yeah. Oh, you won the hand wrap?
Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah, happy.
Tyson signing the book, The Furious Method.
Oh, yeah?
What a lovely moment. The gloves as well. Well, Tyson, we're going to let you go. One final thing. After you've signed Lucky Lads gloves. First bell rings. Saturday night. What's going to happen?
I'm going to run out to the middle of the ring and I'm going to go bang! I'm going to punch him straight in the face. Get up!
Tyson Fury.
Straight in the face. Can't get better than that. What a way to start our Saturday evening. A big punch in the face. Cannot wait.
Congratulations. We'll see you soon, Tyson. Tyson Fury. Promising a big punch in the face. Father and son photo. What a moment for the Fury family. Tyson Fury taking it all in here. Pictures left, right and centre. The team, Big John, Tyson, Sugar Hill's involved. Mobbed.
Tyson. Just one straight to the face.
Well, John, it's all become pretty crazy around here, but let's get your reaction to Tyson's public workout in fight week ahead of his fight with Dillian Whyte on Saturday night. What's your reaction right now?
He's right where I want him to be. You can see how happy he is and up for it. You know, there's no doubt in my mind the win's going to come our way. We've just got to do things properly and cautiously. Do what we're trained to do. Think about what you're doing. There shouldn't be a problem. You know, and like I say, Dillian Whyte, we're expecting the best Dillian Whyte. I know that's the case. And at the end of the day, it's going to be great viewing for the paying customer, the fans. Because without the fans, nothing's worthwhile. Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, Wembley Stadium, Saturday the 23rd. Be there. It's going to be a blockbuster.
Well, there you go. I've been asked to wrap up, but to be honest, I can't top that. John Fury has told you exactly what you need to know. Thank you for joining us today on the Queensbury live stream. We're here at Box Park, Wembley, and we'll be at Wembley Stadium Saturday night. BT Sport Box Office, Fury, Whyte. Do not miss it. Brilliant. Thank you.
Shows. The only man who can deliver, pull it out every single time when the pressure's on.
Here I am. I'm here and I'm ready, and I'm training is done, and I'm in good shape and ready to go.
I will get back up and knock a motherfucker out.
Try and test me, yeah, I'm outnumbered, but I won't lose no more, and that's the promise. They say to make it, you gotta be patient, but I ain't got time to be wasted. And when I get it, you know they gon' hate it. Yeah, you know they gon' hate it, know they gon' hate it. They ain't believe me, they thought I couldn't achieve it. They ain't wanna see the boy reach greatness. So, oh no, straight from the bottom and I made it to the top. Gotta win every day, so I take it. Yeah.